Well, what's 2 hours among friends? We were supposed to start this game about 2 hours and 5 minutes ago. Here in Cincinnati during the day, it was cloudy and dreary and not really much rain until about 6 o'clock. And then it started to come down. And as we take a look now here at Don Mattingly, as his club is getting ready to play the Reds are taking the field. And at long last, we are getting ready to play. It was doubtful just a couple of hours ago. But as you see, the skies have cleared, and here's the lineup that Mattingly has put together. D. Gordon is back in the lineup. Hanley Ramirez batting second. Puig has been on base 39 consecutive games by hit or by walk or getting on base by error. Gonzalez continues to struggle. Kemp is beginning to heat up. Ethiers had very good numbers over the course of his career against Mike Leake in limited time. Turner, Butera, and Beckett is pitching and batting ninth, and they are going to be facing 26-year-old right-hander Mike Leake. 13th start of the year, record of 3-5 and a 3 1/3 ERA.
Yeah, and he comes at you with a fastball, cutter, slider, curveball, changeup. Is using his slider more this year than he does his changeup. He works both sides of the plate, mixes his pitches extremely well, likes to stay down in the zone, and because of that, nearly 60% of balls put in play are on the ground.
Dodgers begin the night at 34-31, 8.5 behind the Giants. The Giants once again hosting the Washington Nationals at AT&T Park. Good pitchers duel coming up in about an hour's time. It'll be Doug Fister against Madison Bumgarner there, and Mattingly is sending out Josh Beckett tonight against the Cincinnati Reds. The Dodgers have won 3 of their last 4, and over the last 3 weeks, they're 12-11. Defensively, behind Mike Leake tonight, it's going to be Todd Frazier at third base. Zach Cozart is the shortstop. Brandon Phillips at second base. Joey Votto fresh off the disabled list at first. Skip Schumacher, the former Dodger, in left. Billy Hamilton in center. Jay Bruce in right. Devin Mesoraco, who has been slumping miserably with the bat in his hand, a very good catcher, is behind the plate. And so here we go, finally at long last. They don't think it's going to rain anymore. There's still some puddles along the warning track. The new ballpark here, relatively speaking, built in 2003. The drainage is very good, and so we are ready to play after a couple of hours of drenching rain. Gordon at 288 with a home run and 18 runs batted in, and wasting no time, the Reds pinch in the corners at the infield, and on the very first pitch, a one-hopper to Votto. Leak covering, we are underway. So 9:15 is the official start time.
We saw D. Gordon yesterday pinch hit and get a hit on the infield. The legs look wonderful. Joey Votto, who we'll see in the offense batting third, likes to take a lot. I think he should have taken that one himself.
Forcing Mike Leake to have to get over there in a hurry, and he's smiling about it, going, maybe I might have had a chance. But let's not forget, too, he is coming off a knee injury,
yes.
So maybe he was thinking, maybe not a sudden movement right now, because I know D. Gordon can get down the line.
So Hanley Ramirez, one pitch, one away. Hanley at 257, 10 home runs and 26 runs batted in. Ramirez last night was 1 for 4, and he takes a strike, gets nothing in 1. 69 degrees, no wind to speak of at all, very humid. And the field, especially in the outfield, will be soggy for a while. That may come into play. Puig is on deck and Leake into the wine. 1 ball, 1 strike.
In my day, Nomar, this would be an advantage to the pitcher, this long rain delay, because the batting cages weren't available back then in the older ballparks, at least on both sides. So the home team would have the advantage a lot of times, because the visiting team wouldn't get access to the one indoor cage that was in most ballparks.
But that is not the case anymore, because a lot of these new modern ballparks have batting cages on both sides underneath, so guys can stay loose.
We can get the same work in as if it was beautiful sunshine out.
Well, with the humidity as it is now, it's not going to take long for these fellas to get warm and ready. And we are ready to go as Ramirez takes low and outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Well, 6 o'clock, it really started to come down. There was thunder and lightning. And the weather blew from south to north, and now thankfully out of the way. The 2-2 way outside. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Mike Leake, 26-year-old right-hander. There's Puig on deck. Leake out of Southern California, San Diego. Has 1 win in his last 6 starts, despite an ERA of 2.16. Reds continue to have an anemic offensive attack. Brandon Phillips, 4-time Gold Glover. Quickly 2 out. Leake 5'10", 190. Just a terrific all-around athlete and a very good hitter as well. Well, here's Puig. 39 consecutive games, hit or walk, getting on in there. At .333, he's the 3rd leading hitter in the National League, and with 73 hits, ranked 6th in the league. 0-1. Mike Leake last year 14-7 and a .337 ERA. Good strikeout to walk ratio, 122 strikeouts, 48 walks. And this year 56 strikeouts and just 16 bases on balls. So Puig with 2 out and nobody on, just underway. As a hitter, what do you go looking for against Mike Leake?
Well, I know he's going to have movement on his fastball like we saw right there. He's going to be out, try to backdoor kind of that tailing fastball. But he really doesn't get into a pattern. I mean, that's one thing about Mike Leake. I'm just trying to get him up in the zone because, as I mentioned earlier, he induces a lot of ground balls. So see if I can get something he can get in the middle and up.
As Puig promptly bounces it into the dirt.
And according to plan, he's already gotten 2 ground balls, and Yasiel topping that one right there. So it doesn't look like he has tremendous sink on the baseball, but there's a lot of tail and about sink of about, the depth of a baseball is about it right now. Not a big time like Roy Halladay sinker when he had the big Kevin Brown.
The 2-2. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Leake's the type of pitcher for me that when he has his bad mechanical days, we're going to see more fastballs like that, where he just kind of runs towards first base a little bit with his body and gets underneath the ball.
Call strike 3. That ends the inning. Puig seems to be upset with himself more than anything else. Dodgers go down in order. Now it's Josh Beckett's turn. He'll be facing Hamilton, Frazier, and Votto in the bottom of the 1st. Beckett making his 12th start of the year.
He has been outstanding. You really can't look at his numbers and really understand how good he has been. The run support hasn't been there for him. He could actually sue for lack of run support. He was outstanding in his no-hitter. The curveball has been fantastic. And Josh Beckett has been everything that you want him to be after coming back from his surgery. This is not a fifth starter. This is a great starter that has just not gotten much support.
He's allowed just 2 runs in each of his last 2 starts and doesn't have a win to show for his efforts. 12th start overall on the year, a 3-3 record, and opposing hitters hitting just .213 against him. Really a renaissance year for Beckett, who was down and out at the end of last year, needing the surgery, and he has come back, and in a big way. Billy Hamilton to lead off for the Reds in the bottom of the first. Hamilton did something last night he'd never done before in his career. He bounced into a double play, a 5-4-3 begun by Justin Turner, turned beautifully at second base by Sean Figgins. And so we are underway. The Dodgers retired in order in the top of the first, and Hamilton takes high and outside. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. Billy, a switch hitter, and a much better hitter from the left side, where he's hitting .274, 100 points better than he is from the right side. There's a strike, and it's 1-2. So we've started 2 hours and 5 minutes later than expected. The rain has come and presumably gone for a while. Here's the 1-2. Or you had your shoulder injury and came back from it, and to some degree had to reinvent yourself. In the case of Beckett, who used to be a real hard thrower, now it's the curveball off-speed stuff that comes first. And tell us about the mental process that he had to go through and come to grips with, and now very comfortable with on 1 and 2. Just low.
You know, the hardest part is not learning the strategy or understanding that you have to do it. The hardest part is pulling the trigger on the strategy in jams. And in the points when you used to rear back and fire, for him to think finesse and to think off speed.
Hamilton on 2 and 2. Right into the glove of Justin Turner, 1 out. Now a look at the Reds lineup. After Hamilton lines to third, Todd Frazier bats second at third base, and Joey Votto is back from the disabled list. Phillips in the cleanup spot tonight, to be followed by Jay Bruce, who's barely hitting .200. Devin Mesoraco's been struggling lately. He's the catcher. Schumacher, the former Dodger. Cozart, one of 23 different shortstops to play since the retirement of Barry Larkin here in Cincinnati. And Mike Leake, a very good hitting pitcher, batting ninth. And here is Frazier, .276 with 13 home runs. Takes a breaking ball up and in. 1 ball and no strikes. Frazier 0 for 3 and a walk last night. Leads the Reds in home runs and runs batted in. Votto on deck. There's 1-1. So Joey Votto, where the knee and the quad met, knocked him out for a couple of weeks. Into center field, easy play for Ethier. Drifting in, 2 out. And here comes Joey Votto. One who has job security. Has a 10-year contract. Missed practically 3 weeks with that knee. Two out, nobody on. Votto didn't waste any time, did he?
It's a rarity to see him swing at the very first pitch. He's one of the more patient hitters in the big leagues.
From Toronto, signed through the end of the 2024 season.
And that was a contract that sent tremors through the whole baseball industry, because he was a few years from free agency, and all of a sudden they popped 10 years on him without worrying about taking some time to wait and see if the production continues, to wait and see if the health continues.
The other side of the coin is he broke in 2007, and only once did he finish a year under 300, and that was in 2008 when he hit a meager 297. So he is consistent for sure. Career average of 314. Last year played in every single game. Now here's Beckett in search of his 4th win, and he's been terrific throughout the year. Votto takes a call, strike 3, and Beckett retires the side in order. Nothing across for the Reds. When we go to the 2nd, Adrian Gonzalez, Matt Kemp, and Andre Ethier will be coming up.
No score here at the Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati as we make our way to the top of the 2nd inning. Adrian Gonzalez set to lead off for the Dodgers in the top of the 2nd inning, and it really has been a bit of an offensive struggle for Adrian Gonzalez as of late. If you take a look at his numbers in March and April, a .317 batting average, 8 home runs, 24 runs batted in, but May and June, a very different story. Just a .195 average, 4 home runs, just 14 ribbies. In fact, in June, just a .038 average in 26 at-bats. Earlier today, Don Mattingly was asked about Gonzalez beating the shift, and Mattingly said, you know what, guys, I don't think you can hit differently. The ball tells you where to hit. The more you use the field, the less they will shift you. Charlie?
All right, Alana, there's no shift on for Gonzalez as the Dodgers begin the 2nd inning, and Adrian, who turned 32 last month, takes a strike. It's 0-1. Gonzalez mired in quite a slump. Hitless in his last 20 and 1 for his last 26.
And I think it's very easy to say, well, is it the shift that's getting him? But Adrian, it's not the shift, because Adrian has been shifted on many times throughout his career and still been able to get hits. He's just a little bit off at home plate and just trying to get that confidence back.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Gonzalez at 247. His career average is 293. And the count is 1-2. Is there anything mechanical that you're noticing, no more?
You know, oftentimes when you're in that slump, you just see your barrel dropping a little bit. And the reason I say that, we've also seen a lot of balls that he's fouled off. And that's it. If you're looking for something mechanical, that's what has a tendency to go. And when your barrel drops, your front shoulder flies open and the barrel drops just a little bit. But like I said, with Adrian, it's very fine. It's not, you know, that may be mechanical, but I'm not saying that's what he's focused on, saying, oh, I can't drop my bat. It could be something else that he's thinking about that's causing that, or causing him just to miss it.
On 2-2. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
It's the most active I've seen him in the batter's box lately, where he really is getting in the box aggressively, and he's got kind of happy feet when he gets in and out. He's engaged.
On 3-2, Gonzalez beginning the second inning. Leake's 20th pitch will come eventually because it's in the rules. Now Adrian's going to step out of the batter's box. On 3-2. Into right center field. That's one way to get out of a slump. A one-hopper off the base of the wall, and Gonzalez arrives at second base with a leadoff double, his 14th two-base hit of the year.
There he is. He was looking in a dugout looking for some love. I mean, that's when you also know you're struggling too, because you're like, all right, I got it. I was looking for that one, and he did an excellent job staying on that ball. You know, not pulling off of it. Like I was telling you, sometimes when you end up fouling balls off and you're getting underneath it, you have a tendency to open that front shoulder, pull off of the ball, barely miss it. That one he did, and he kept that front shoulder in, he kept his sights over the ball, and he drives it to right center.
And that brings up Matt Kemp. And Kemp has 6 hits in his last 12 at-bats, a 4-game hitting streak, lifting his average to 254. Takes a strike, it's 0-1.
This is right up Matt's alley here. He loves to stay inside the ball and go to the opposite field. Love to get Adrian over, but he also can get the base hit on that side of the field.
Two for 7 is Kemp against Leake. Gonzalez leads from second. He's the first runner of the game for either side. 0-2 to Kemp. But Ethier's had great success against Leake is on deck. Dodgers, when scoring first this year, are 26-10. So there's Gonzalez after his double to right center. Kemp down on strikes for Leake, his second strikeout. Mike Leake on the year, 58 strikeouts now and just 16 walks, but Ethier is 5 for 12 with 2 home runs against Mike Leake. Dodgers would like to get the early lead for obvious reasons. Above and beyond that, give Josh Beckett a run or two to work with. Loop down the left field line. It's a fair ball. It's going to go to the corner, and Ethier continues to own Mike Leake. Gonzalez comes in to score, and the Dodgers take a 1-0 lead.
Well, we pretty much have seen this all year long, the way Andre Ethier has been able to be successful against right-handed pitchers. He didn't waste any time here with Mike Leake. I mean, this was a pretty good pitch up there. It was up in the zone. Actually, I thought it was farther in. It was wide over the plate, but he stayed inside the ball extremely well and is able to keep that ball fair down the left field corner. Good job by Andre Ethier. Remember I was saying maybe get your sights up a little bit because Leake induces a lot of ground balls like the pitch in the zone. Andre Ethier got a pitch up, top of the strike zone, gets on top, and lines a base hit.
Brings up Justin Turner. And the Dodgers with the early lead. And Turner takes a strike. It's 0-1. Justin at 269, 3 home runs and 16 runs batted in. Had a couple of hits in 5 at-bats last night, including an RBI. Gutierrez on deck. Ethier is at second. A couple of doubles for the Dodgers here in the second inning. No balls and 2 strikes.
Well, I was just going to say, but Andre attacked the first pitch. Is if you're on the mound, if you're a numbers person, or you're thinking back home, you're going, okay, Andre Ethier's been successful against Leake throughout his career. Then you're going, okay, if I pitch around him, I'm going to face Justin Turner, who over the last 15 games has batted .462 with runners in scoring position. So it's like almost pick your poison because the guy behind Andre's been swinging the bat very well.
Turner's done a terrific job in the absence of Juan Uribe. Uribe's beginning to make some progress. They still haven't circled a day on the calendar, but clearly getting closer.
Stan Conti's kind of up the drills, and he's starting to run on angles and around curves, so he's progressing, trying to check all the boxes off so he can get a green light.
A.J. Ellis, by the way, is only a couple of days away. Little chopper. Frazier will throw out Turner, and Ethier will go to third, 2 out.
I thought that was a good read by Andre Ethier, because oftentimes when you're leading off second base, if the ball's hit to your right side, you stay, and it hits to your left, you go. But watch, it's just hit to his right side, but he read that it's a slow ground ball and that he can get there seeing the third baseman come across. So nice read.
Big vacancy at third base, so it was an easy scamper for Ethier. There's 2 out, and Drew Gutierrez coming up. Gutierrez, a couple of home runs and 11 runs batted in. Dodgers with a 1-0 lead. Ethier doubles home Gonzalez. And a fly ball to left field. Heading on back, Skip Schumacher. Makes a catch, the inning is over. Gonzalez ends his 0 for 20 hitting slump with a double, and he is doubled home by Andre Ethier. We head now to the bottom of the second. The early lead, and spend Father's Day with your dad this Sunday at Dodger Stadium when the Dodgers take on the Diamondbacks at 1:10. First 40,000 fans in attendance receive a sports bag, and after the game, dads and their families are invited onto the field for a game of catch. All compliments of Avita Water. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/promotions. So Adrian Gonzalez breathing a sigh of relief with a clean double up the gap in right center. And Andre Ethier would knock him home. And now, Josh Beckett, you've got a run to work with. Make it happen.
After all the run support that he has not received, he's had 3 games this year where they've gotten him 1 run. So he's used to seeing a 1 spot up there, but he'd like to see more.
Josh, in his last 2 games, has allowed 2 runs in each of his performances, and he's lost both. Brandon Phillips takes a strike, and it's 0-1. Phillips at 273 with 4 home runs and 22 runs batted in. He'll be followed by Jay Bruce and Devin Mesoraco. Phillips with 65 base hits. One ball, 1 strike.
Love to play against guys like this. Brandon Phillips, who wear their emotions on their sleeve, and you can just tell they're grinding it out and giving everything they have. Win, lose, or draw, they're fun to compete against.
And when you've got a guy like that, and you're on the hill, and you're a poker player, and you see the look in their eye, how they go about their business, how do you go about your business?
Well, the body language tells me that, and the track record tells me that he wants to swing the bat. So making the ball look like a strike and end up a ball a lot of times is effective against hitters like this.
Beckett on 1-2 and a ground ball to short right at Hanley Ramirez. First out of the second.
Another question I have for you as a pitcher is, you see Brandon enjoy the game. So if he gets a double and he's smiling at second, or he gets a base hit and you're against him, does that bother you? Like, gosh, this guy smiles way too much or anything like that?
It does not bother me. It didn't bother me at all when hitters celebrated what they did well. Okay. What bothered me is if you stand on second base and you were playing shortstop for me and you went over and started talking to him. That's what upset me. I didn't mind the opposing team celebrating what they did well.
Right.
Not at all.
Jay Bruce swings and misses.
Even a home run hitter that hits it a long way and he knows as soon as he hits it, if he stays in the box and admires it a little bit, this is entertainment.
Right. So that didn't bother you?
It didn't bother me.
But
it bothered me, my teammates, you know, kibitzing and talking with guys after they get a base hit off of me, or we're making a pitching change, and the guy who knocked our pitcher out, our friend, who's now leaving the mound, you're talking to him at second base and hanging out with him. I didn't like that.
I was just telling him, hey, nice hit. Way to square that up.
No.
That's what I tell him. Like, especially if you were on the hill, I'd say, hey, I'm glad you noticed that fastball. I told you that was coming.
Yeah, you middle infielders always. Don't you have that fraternity where you give each other signs?
All the time. That's what you guys think. Come on.
That's the only way they got hits off me.
That's
what's
it.
Coming.
Josh Beckett, a first-round draft choice, as was Jay Bruce. Bruce, a first-round pick in 2005. Did he go around? Yep. Third base umpire Brian Knight with a clenched fist. Bruce with a clenched lower lip. And it's the second out of the second inning. Brings up Devin Mesoraco. He's mired in quite a slump. He has one hit in his last 18 at-bats and 0 for his last 17 overall.
Tells you how well he was swinging prior to that. 1 for 18, still at 304.
Got some good news and some bad news. Meanwhile, Beckett seems rhythmic, very efficient, just going about his business seemingly effortlessly.
Yeah, he is attacking, and maybe got the memo on work quicker.
He's fine when nobody's on base.
Yep, you're right about that.
You know, the one thing I was thinking about Beckett, we were talking about the first inning and how he's reinvented himself. You know, as an opposing player, you really, when they give you scouting reports on the pitcher, they give you what he's been doing this year, but they, especially a veteran like that, you have what he's done in the past. They give you all this information. Well, he's reinvented. You really have to throw that out the window and really just focus on what he's done this year.
What have you done for me lately?
Right. Yeah. Because it's, like I said, in the past, you knew you were going to get a fastball off Josh Beckett at some point, and doesn't do that all the time anymore. More breaking balls.
First round pick of the Marlins in 1999. And that is strikeout number 3 for Beckett, who has retired the first 6 batters he has faced, and he has struck out 3 of them. He'll be leading off in the third. Dodgers lead 1-0. third inning, and then D. Gordon back after missing a day with a hip issue, but he showed no signs of any discomfort last night.
Yeah, and we don't know what he's meant to this Dodger ball club, especially at the top of the lineup. You see Saturday in Colorado when he left with that hip discomfort, but nonetheless, 36 stolen bases this year, 19 infield hits. His 19th came yesterday when he pinched hit and got an infield hit, and so he shows like his hip is feeling better. But you can see in his last 4 games at 6 for 11 with those 2 triples and 3 RBIs. He's doing it all.
But first, Josh Beckett takes a strike. It's 0-1. Beckett 2 for 21. 0.95.
No infield hits.
And likely to stay that way for a while.
Just trying to be factual.
Cub reporter Oral Hershiser on the beat on 0-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
I mean, really, to expound on that, this is our weakest hitting pitcher. Dan Herron's awesome. Kershaw's awesome. Greinke's awesome.
And Ryu can hit.
And Ryu can hit with an odd swing.
Yeah. And it was Greinke last year hit 328. The Silver Slugger Award.
Well deserved.
On 2-2.
I'll tell you, I was talking to Josh about it, you know, how he's really behind the 8 ball with the bat. And he's saying, you know, all those years of the American League put you behind. And he's not only pitched in the big leagues for a long time, but he has not been in the batter's box. And to come and to be that far away from swinging a bat for so long, and then to be expected to pick up a big league pitch and to be out there every 5th day, and you know, 2 of the 3 of the at-bats you're called on to bunt. His bunting is not there yet, but he works on it. He grinds at it.
3rd strikeout for Leake. It's the first out of the 3rd. And still no infield hits for Josh Beckett. D. Gordon, on the other hand, has more than anybody. First pitch of the game, he bounced to first base. Gordon's 2nd in the National League in All-Star voting. 4 second basemen behind Chase Utley.
He grounded out to first in his first at bat, but I sure would like him to try and test slashing that ball towards third as far in as Frazier is.
Breaking ball for a strike, 0-2.
Get some barking from a big league bench when you catch a ball down that low. That's the one thing that a big league bench will yell at an umpire about, because they can't see the width of the ball being caught, but they can see the height from side to side.
On 0-2, way outside.
I know you never yelled at an umpire, right, Nomar?
No. Well, you know, that's why I swung at the first pitch. I didn't have to give him a chance to make
blow
the
any
back
calls.
call. Exactly.
It's another reason why he swung at the first.
Numerous reasons.
Ooh. He's doing the right thing, trying to hit the ball on the ground, but this is the dangerous part of it if you top it.
Hopefully it got more the rim of his helmet than his face. Nonetheless, you see him grab his face right away, checking on him.
Stan Conti making sure he's okay, and he is.
And I know when D. Gordon's okay, he gives you that little kind of smirk or that little smile underneath, and you're like, okay.
The confidence with which he is playing this year is markedly greater than it has been in years past. As he flies routinely to Hamilton, there's 2 out. Gordon now knows he belongs. Now he knows he has a position. Shortstop had been an iffy proposition for him. Talking to him and to his dad, Tom Flash Gordon, a great pitcher in his day, said moving to second base changed everything. The game slowed down for him. And Ramirez, the shortstop, steps in. He's bounced to second base in his only at-bat. I'm okay. Going outside, 1 ball, no strikes to Hanley Ramirez. Puig is on deck. Dodgers with a 1-0 lead. A Gonzalez double and an Ethier double. 2-0. Mike Leake's 13th start of the year. Opposing hitters hitting about 245 against him. And it's 3 balls and no strikes. Puig on deck. Gonzalez after that. 3-1. Puig took a call, 3rd strike in his first at bat. On 3-1. Tough hop. Frazier still has time. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left. 5 in a row retired by Leake. 6 in a row retired by Beckett. And 2 hits, doubles for Gonzalez, and an RBI double for Ethier. And MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, is celebrating 12 years. Join the millions of subscribers. Watch every out-of-market game live in true HD on over 400 devices. Visit Dodgers.com for details. Skip Schumacher leads it off. Schumacher, terrific year with the Dodgers last year. He and Nick Punto, Jerry Hairston Jr., Michael Young, the bench brigade, did so well. Schumacher, 220, playing with a bad left shoulder that he jammed on a diving catch in spring training. So he is gutting it out this year. I wouldn't be surprised to have a surgery when the year is out. Ethier, a couple of steps on the warning track, 1 gone.
Gave it a ride. Maybe with 2 healthy shoulders, it goes a little further. A lot of times when you're a hitter and you've got a shoulder problem, you cut your swing short because you don't have the strength at the full extension. And so more of a line drive swing.
And how frustrating it must be knowing you're going to be playing all year with a bad shoulder. You just have, that's part of the deal. And that's Skip's situation this year. Zach Cozart takes outside, 1 ball and no strikes. Cozart at 221. One ball, 1 strike, 1 out here in the 3rd. Beckett has retired the first 7 batters he has faced tonight. Outside.
Last time he had an outing like this, he was in a hitter's park.
Better here than Philadelphia, said W.C. Fields. Center field, straight away, easy play for Ethier. 8 in a row.
It's so funny you said that, because I was asked that question in our pregame show. They said, well, when he's in a small ballpark or hitter-friendly ballpark, what does Beckett have to do against the lineup? I said, what he did the last time he was in one of those.
Pitch around a couple tough guys and get everybody else out.
Right, exactly.
Mike Leake may be the pitcher, and he may have a 120 average, but he's a very good hitting pitcher. Good athlete out of San Diego and Arizona State, and takes high and inside. 1 ball, no strikes. Dodgers with a 1-0 lead. Right on cue.
Good scouting report, Charlie. And a real good swing from Mike Leake.
Graded by Billy Hatcher.
You want to break this down, Mr. Pitcher here?
Well, he gets his foot down early. It's a low ball below the knees, but does a good job keeping his front shoulder in and going down there and getting it, hitting that line drive. Reminds me of a swing that I used to have.
It's so funny. All the hits that the pitcher gets reminds you of the swing you used to have.
Well,
but
you know,
I tell you, Mike Leake is a tremendous athlete. He swings the bat well. You know, also on the mound, I mean, that's also another asset. He fields his position well.
Again, that's one of those numbers when you take a look at a pitcher's batting average. You have to put it in some kind of context.
it's a small sample, even at the end of the year. His number of at-bats. You think about pitching every 5th day. If you make every one of your starts, let's go 34 starts, 33, 35, whatever number you want. And then in those starts, if you go a complete game, which you're not going to nowadays, but let's say you go 7 innings. Say you get 3 at-bats, 3 or 4. And you're getting called on to bunt maybe at least 1 or 2 of those. So once every 5th day, you're hitting off a big league pitcher for 1 or 2 at-bats, legitimately hitting off. So you get maybe 70 at-bats.
Billy Hamilton takes a breaking ball.
You go from there, and it's a very small sample and a very tough time to get reps. So pretty much if they hit 250, 300, if 220, they're better than the regulars.
0-2 to Hamilton. League the short lead at first. This could be trouble. Butera makes it easy. Great move by Drew Butera, sprinting out from behind the box and getting the speedy Hamilton by a step. No runs and 1 hit. Yasiel Puig will lead off for the Dodgers in the 4th.
Lead over the Reds as we make our way to the top of the fourth inning. Yasiel Puig set to lead off the visitors' half of the fourth inning. And while last night's game was the 56th game for the Dodgers in 2014, last night marked the 162nd game for Yasiel Puig. So under a first full season under his belt, and what a year it has been. 324 batting average, 100 runs scored, 37 doubles, 30 long balls, 82 RBIs. He also has a 406 career on-base percentage and a 552 slugging percentage. Now, it's a big if, but if he should continue his current pace through the remainder of the season, he would become the second youngest Los Angeles player to lead the team in average behind only Tommy Davis, guys.
Oh, and could Tommy Davis ever hit? And can to this day. Comes out and plays in the old-timers game every year and inevitably gets himself a base hit. So here's Puig. 39 consecutive games in which he has been on base by hit or walk, hit by a pitch or an error. And so his on-base percentage, as Alana said, through his first 162 games, 406. This year, 430. And a chopper, and this going to be a double. Schumacher might as well just hang on to it. For Puig, this is going to be his 17th two-base hit. That's 40 consecutive games he's been on base.
Well, we've seen Andre Ethier, Yasiel Puig attacking that first pitch, looking out, wasting any time. Must be part of the scouting report. They know Mike Leake. He works fast and also likes to get ahead of a lot of hitters, so he's going to be throwing strikes. So look for one you can handle and attack it.
Well, Adrian Gonzalez came into the game hitless in his last 20 at-bats, and he promptly doubled to right center in his first at-bat. His 39th run batted into the season.
And here is that double. This is the one oftentimes when you are in a slump, you're like, I'm just looking for that one to fall in for me to get you the confidence back in the box. So hopefully that one right there, looking for the love, looking from his teammates in the dugout.
Inside. 1 ball, 1 strike to Adrian Gonzalez. So the Dodgers with a 1-0 lead. The Reds have had all sorts of trouble scoring runs these days. Two and one. Gonzalez on the year 268 with runners in scoring position. Throughout his career, much higher than that. At the moment, Adrian Gonzalez is the #1 vote getter among first basemen in the National League. On 2 and 1.
Well, he'd love to have that pitch back. Look at him smiling and shaking his head. A little bit of a hanging breaking ball, and ended up coming a little bit too far in on him. He's given himself plenty of room on the inner half of the plate there, as far off as he is. And then not only does he miss it, the hanger for the big hit, he hits it off his own foot. And so he's got double trouble.
That's what he's trying to smile. He's trying to smile off the pain right there.
Gonzalez, a .328 lifetime hitter with runners in scoring position. 4th strikeout for Leake, first out of the 4th.
And that last swing right there by Adrian Gonzalez, that's what frustrates you. You're going, okay, I haven't been swinging the bat well. I get my double. All right, that's what I'm looking for. And then you take an uncomfortable strike 3 swing.
And unable to advance Puig to third. Kept a strikeout victim in his first at bat. That was a hit in each of the last 4 games. 6 for his last 13, including tonight.
His first at bat was one of the uglier at bats he's had in about 4 or 5 days. Really didn't look like himself. He's been so locked in and started to lay off that pitch that he just took right there, that one that's in off the plate that was jamming him about a week ago. And then he lays off the slider away, really pretty much the same way that Yasiel Puig came and started to really produce big numbers.
Kemp with runners in scoring position this year, not so hot. 8 for 44. That's 182. Puig, of course, great speed at second base. There's the strike. 1-1. Ethier, who drove in the only run of the game, is on deck.
Man on second that can run, Nomar. What are you asking him when he's in scoring position out there as far as when you're hitting? Stay still?
Stay very still. Don't be bouncing around. Because you're in my line of sight as I'm looking at the pitcher.
Especially a right-hander, right?
No question. Right-hander, lefter, but you're right. Especially a right-hander because you're right over his shoulder. So I don't want you bouncing around. I don't want you moving. You're already in scoring position, I believe, on a base hit. If you're going to steal, you better steal in the first 2 pitches, or the very first would be great. If you're not, just stay still, get into position to score.
On 1-2. Kemp just lays off.
Especially 1-2. There he is bouncing right as Leak is lifting his leg. Now, younger player. Lana just did the report. 162 games under his belt. By this time, he should have gotten the message from a lot of these hitters.
Well, I hope they're giving him the message. And if he has gotten the message, he's not listening. But I would hope somebody's telling him, hey, just stay there. You're fine.
On 2 balls and 2 strikes. Leak takes too much time for Kemp's liking.
Was it worse at home with a white uniform back there compared to a gray? It didn't matter.
Didn't matter.
Didn't matter.
Didn't matter. You see movement over there out of your peripheral vision, and it distracts you. See, like right there, I understand he's going, but there's no need with 2 strikes on the batter. Stay there. See this ball? Oh, that was high off the shin. That wasn't the ankle or the foot. That's just middle of the shin. Oh,
and it's right there where you get that inside there where you get that shin splint right along the edge.
Trying to convince himself it really doesn't hurt that much, but his brain ain't buying it.
Oh, they need that magic spray that we're going to see so much in this coming up by Thursday when the World Cup starts. So see that an awful lot with a cloud and the trainers going out there, spray that, and then they're healed.
Nancy Patterson Flynn, the Dodger trainers, on 2-2. Kemp takes call strike 3. Jim Reynolds, the home plate umpire, was a communications major at UConn.
You can see where that pitch was. I mean, I'll tell you, if anything, it would look more down than it looked in. And I'm wondering what he was asking Reynolds. And I'll tell you, Jim Reynolds, though, what I liked, he didn't take off his mask. He talked to you that way. He was listening to Kemp. That means Kemp was also probably talking to him in the proper way. He also understood the situation. Here's a guy who's trying to knock that runner in over there in second base. He's trying to battle his at bat. Okay, I'm going to hear you a little bit. As long as you're talking to me respectfully and talking about it, okay, I'll hear you. Fine. Okay, and you walked away. That's the way you handle it.
Now you're a hitter and you've just whacked one off your shin, and you're convincing yourself it really doesn't hurt.
No, it hurts.
But you're not believing it for a moment. And then he comes back predictably with a pitch, a fastball down and in. Do you really want to swing?
Well, you don't want to strike out. You don't want to be called. That's for sure, because
But on the other hand, you don't want to whack your shit either.
I understand that, but you're also thinking, I have a man at second base and there's a guy I can knock in.
Here's 2 out and Andre Ethier coming up.
Now I don't.
It's continuing the little discussion between Matt and Jim Reynolds.
Well, one was a communications major and the other wasn't. And the one who wasn't is trying to communicate in an indelicate way. 2 out, and Puig is still at second base after Gonzalez and Kemp have struck out. And Ethier with a fly ball to left field. Schumacher heading on back, and he'll make the catch halfway between the lip of the grass and the out-of-town scoreboard. No runs, 1 hit after 3.5. Dodgers 1-0. One to nothing. Dodgers lost a member of the family today. Bob Welch passed away of a heart attack. Actually, the heart attack took place last night. We were made aware of it today. 17 years in the major leagues and one of the epic showdown at bats in World Series history. He and Reggie Jackson. 9 pitches, took nearly 6 minutes. The highest drama one could imagine. A 21-year-old kid against Reggie, and the strikeout. Of course, the Yankees would go on and win that World Series, but that moment is seared in baseball history forever, and it's a big loss.
Yeah, it's a big loss. That memory is seared in baseball history, but the memory of Bob and Welchie, how good a teammate he was, how hard a worker, how much he loved his kids. He's a fantastic guy and a great individual. And it's a big, big loss for the baseball family and the Dodger family, the Oakland A's family.
He would come around Dodger Stadium fairly often over the past few years. And Frazier with a leadoff hit to center as we begin the 4th.
A fun-loving guy that loved to have fun and really never acted his age. He was always a little bit goofy, a little bit funny, and always played with the kids. That the big leaguers, all of us had our kids around the clubhouse at times, and Welchie was always one of the guys that would go out and throw batting practice to them or hang out with them or wrestle with them in the clubhouse.
From one pitcher to another, what did you learn from him?
He had an outstanding curveball, and you really learn how to spin the ball from Welchie. And the amazing thing about his abilities, as hard as he could throw as a fastball, is as much as he learned to be a finesse pitcher, kind of like Josh Beckett, who we have on the mound here tonight. Welchie learned the split finger when he went over to Oakland, and learned how to back off and throw BP fastballs and not just be a thrower. And that tremendous year he had in Oakland, winning 27 games. They ended up winning the World Series after he got traded over there so we could get Alfredo Griffin that helped us win the '88 World Series. And then Welchie got an opportunity to win the World Series over there in Oakland after that.
Joey Votto, his first game back after missing nearly 3 weeks with a quad issue. Call strike.
Welchie had such a big bone spur in his right elbow, his pitching elbow, that he pitched with most of his career. The bone spur actually took over his elbow and became his ulnar collateral ligament. And so he really, the ligament and the bone spur all became one. And the pain that he pitched in and what he did in between starts just to get back out to the mound probably the last 5 to 7 years of his career was absolutely amazing. Just it. And Dr. Job would tell him that if I take the bone spur out, you're not going to have a ligament. You'll need Tommy John after that. If you can tolerate the pain and the elbow is functioning, Dr. Job recommended you just keep going with it, and that's what he did.
That's the one thing about you fellas. How you're able to perform and cope with the pain as if that's just part of the equation of going about and doing your business. Votto on 1 and 2 with Frazier leading from first.
Well, oftentimes, if you went out there and you didn't feel pain, I think you felt weird. Like, wait a minute, something's usually hurting. Somebody asked me too. It's like, okay, when you come back from an injury, you 100%. I said, last time I felt 100%, I think I was 5 years old.
Yes.
I mean, really.
Everybody plays hurt, and you go on the DL when you're injured. But as far as hurt, that pretty much everybody's doing that.
Beckett pulls the string, and Votto struck out for the second time tonight. And that's the 4th strikeout for Josh Beckett. 1 out.
I think from the second, at least the 3rd year, but in the big leagues, and I pitched 17 years, I think I was on Indocin, which was a very strong anti-inflammatory, from the first day of spring training till the end of the season. Aspirin wouldn't do it. Advil wouldn't do it. No, I needed something stronger to get the inflammation out of my body. They give you all blood tests, once a month they're testing your blood and making sure you're okay and you're flushing out, because you have to drink a lot of water when you're on different medicines that it takes to punish your body the way we do. And I wasn't even an everyday player. I can't imagine for an everyday player. I was just trying to patch it together to go out there every 5th day.
You feel something every single day and you make the adjustment accordingly, and sometimes that's where the adrenaline of the game takes over. And you just kind of do it.
Meanwhile, Josh Beckett is throwing strikes, and plenty of them. He has thrown 46 pitches to this point, 32 strikes. He's working ahead of the hitters. He's got a 1-0 lead to work with. Jay Bruce on deck. Foul from the moment of impact.
I had forgotten that Bobby Welch threw a 27 batter, 1-hitter in 1980. Guy got on a single and then recorded in the double play. He faced the minimum. He won the Cy Young, of course, back in 1990. And the World Series they won in Oakland in '89.
No balls and 2 strikes to Phillips.
I think the at-bat you're talking about, Charlie, everybody will always remember Bobby Welch. He'll be remembered 50, 100 years from now because of that at-bat against Reggie Jackson.
At the age of 21. So it's a sad day in the Dodger community. Here's the 1-2 to left field. Playable for Kemp. Two out. Now Jay Bruce took a called 3rd strike in his first at-bat. Game was delayed 2 hours and 5 minutes at the beginning because of rain. And there was a time tonight where we thought there was no chance A, we'd get to play, or B, even get to see the moon. Skies have cleared. The Dodgers lead. Bruce, a strikeout victim in his first at-bat. Frazier goes, throws to second, and not in time. Todd Frazier with his 6th stolen base of the year.
Todd Frazier got a tremendous jump here. I mean, he would see his momentum. He was already thinking about going even before Josh Beckett lifted his front foot. So he was reading something. Maybe it was Beckett's rhythm, whatever it was, but he was already anticipating, and Butera really had no chance.
A ball and a strike. Tying run and Frazier at second base. And it's outside. 2-1 to Jay Bruce. Bruce down to 206. Mesoraco on deck. And the 2-1 on the way. 2 balls and 2 strikes. There was a set play between Butera and Hanley Ramirez.
Frazier had such a good jump when he stole a base. This was a better chance at Frazier than when he was stealing, because he had such a big jump, and they were trying to see if they can get him leaning over there at second base.
Bruce hitting 50 points below his career average. And it just went down. That's 5 strikeouts for Josh Beckett. On a night that we remember, Bob Welch. Dodger Baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by the Ram 1500. Motor Trend's 2014 Truck of the Year and first ever back-to-back champion. Dodgers 1 run and 3 hits. The Reds no runs and 2 hits on the banks of the Ohio River. And that's why they used to call the place right down the street Riverfront Stadium. This is, of course, the Great American Ballpark, built in 2003, and the Dodgers 23-16 visiting here in Cincinnati in the new park. Justin Turner bounced to third in his first at-bat. No balls and 1 strike. Oral, what have you seen from Leake to this point?
Tremendous movement. You know what I really love about him is how he gets down the hill and gets close to the hitter.
And Turner with a leadoff single here in the 5th.
That's when you attack him, is when you get the ball up. Nomar has talked about that. All the different types of pitches that he throws and all the different ground balls that he gets. Make him get the ball up.
And I'll tell you, if you're playing behind Leake as a infielder, there's a few things you really like. That he's in the strike zone, so you're getting ready. You know he's going to get ground balls, but he also has a great pace on the hill as well. He grabs the ball and he's ready to throw, and that helps you as a defender.
Butera fly to left in his first at bat, takes a strike, 0-1. Looking at Lorenzo Bundy for a sign.
I think if you talk to hitters, they would tell you that Mike Leake is sneaky fast, and also he has very late heavy movement, and I think it's because of the athleticism and how he can maneuver his body down the hill and really get his release point out front.
Much like Beckett, Leake has not gotten a whole lot of run support. In his last 6 starts, he's getting about 2.5 runs per game. Beckett about the same. In fact, since 2012, the Dodgers and Reds, when they face one another, have averaged less than 6 runs per game combined. So last night, when the Dodgers beat the Reds 6-2, it was a bonanza.
I think that is as much about the pitching staffs as it is the lack of offense. How good the pitching staffs have been here of late for both teams.
Well, the Dodgers starters have the 3rd lowest ERA in the National League, and the Reds the 5th lowest. Close play at first. Justin Turner has 2 stolen bases on the year. Now with the light hitting Beckett on deck. Butera rolls it foul.
Good job by Drew Butera right there. He was looking, just didn't assume that was going foul. And it hit that lip, the grass. Watch this ball here. Watch what happens. A lot of guys you'll see who just say, okay, it's foul, I'll just stop. He did, but he's watching it. Let me go, let me go. Now he sees that it might be coming fair. And if he had just stayed at home, and guys, you see that, lazy, they stay at home. Rocco could have waited to see if that goes fair, then get him out. So good job by Drew.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Butera, a couple of home runs, 11 runs batted in. Both home runs on the road. And a fly ball into short right field. Bruce is there. First out of the 5th.
Well, even though there's 1 out, I think you still see Josh Beckett bunting right here. Lorenzo flashing the signs down there, and a lot of times the bunt is automatically on when the pitchers come up, and Lorenzo's job is to take it off. Because you give that bunt sign so often, you don't want to have to give it. So instead of giving it every single pitch or every single time the pitcher's up.
Well, how about that? Little butcher boy play.
Very nice.
Great idea. Good job by Beckett, and perfectly executed to get that chopper to go over Frazier's head. I mean, he was charging hard. He recognized that and says, I'm going to pull it back, put it on the ground. And I'll tell you what, you know what that does? That puts it in the mind of a third baseman who's charging it all the time, playing in, going, okay, I can't. I'll be on my heels just a little bit, or I won't charge quite as hard because they'll swing away.
He's still smiling.
He should.
3rd hit of the year, perfectly executed. And now D. Gordon, who's 0 for 2 tonight. And D has been a very good hitter in the clutch this year. 285 at the moment. And he squares the bunt, takes low and outside, 1 ball, no strikes. And with runners in scoring position, Gordon is 17 for 51. That's .333. So the Dodgers looking to extend their 1-0 lead. Turner average speed at second. And Beckett is at first. Drilled toward the left field corner, and it's a fair ball. It's going to roll to the corner. Turner scores easily. Beckett will be held at 3rd, and D. Gordon hits in the clutch again. He drives in his 19th run of the season, and the Dodgers take a 2-0 lead.
D had to get back to the plan. Grounded out to first, trying to pull the ball in his first at bat. He flies out to center in his second at bat, but he gets back to the plan of using the left side of the field and just letting the pitcher do the work, supplying the power, and just dropping the barrel on it and slashing it. Ball's in the air, but he's hitting it to the proper place with the proper swing.
And the Dodgers with a 2-0 lead. The Reds bring the infield halfway. For Hanley Ramirez, who's 0 for 2, he's bounced to second, he's bounced to third. The Reds can afford to play halfway because Josh Beckett, not much of a base runner.
Yeah, often as an infielder, though, that I get that, and it gives you more range to play halfway. But you sometimes get in between with the grass hitting the dirt here because you're usually not used to that position right there. You're like in between, so they're like missed maybe a step or two from double play. That feels more comfortable. But sometimes there's that 3 depth where you're not all the way in that really can mess you up.
So you'd like to have that second hop on the dirt, not just grass to dirt now to you.
Right. Or that, because sometimes it'll give you that in between. There's just there's a position for everybody, every infielder, where if they put you in there, you just feel like you're no man's land. Like, this just isn't comfortable. There's no, I can't get a good read here.
1 ball and 1 strike. Past Phillips. Here comes Beckett. And here comes Gordon. A 2 RBI single to right center for Hanley Ramirez. And the Dodgers take a 4-0 lead. So Ramirez with 2 RBIs now has 38 on the year.
Well, this is a good approach by Hanley Ramirez, going the other way with that ball. Talking about Hanley hitting in that 2-hole. Don Mattingly trying to get him hot because hopefully he would see more fastballs in that spot. Being with D. Gordon in front of him, being on bases. Also with the guy coming up to the plate here in Yasiel Puig. And Hanley going the other way. You know, I think that, as we said, halfway depth as well. The defense playing a little bit in, I think helped them out there as well to be able to get it past Brandon Phillips.
Now here's Puig, who has struck out and has doubled. Dodgers now 4 runs and 7 hits. Puig fouls it off to the right, and it's 0-1. John Valentin, the assistant hitting coach, told you over the weekend he was hit in the eye, as you can see. Batting practice in Colorado, underneath in the cage. Ball deflected off the metal and got him right there. But thank goodness, no structural damage. The eye is fine, and
he looks so much better. I mean, the other day his eye was just shut. We saw him on the plane and it was just closed, and it's so good to hear he's okay.
And on the plane, it didn't take long for somebody to go over to him and say, "Oh, you're going to the hotel tonight to shut her down, huh?"
Were you the one who said it? Oh,
no.
I was like, who said that? I'm surprised he didn't punch him to get to see. You want to know what it feels like?
All I said to him, lead with the jab next time. But he's okay. And Valentin and Mark McGwire have done just a terrific job. 1 ball, 1 strike. And Valentin, of course, a member of the Red Sox Alumni Club.
We were teammates. We were teammates for a few years over there, and he was always just so good to me. He taught me so much. I mean, I came up and, you know, he was the shortstop, and he ended up moving over so I could play short. And, you know, never held that against me. Really was there, always teaching me, and I learned so much from him.
Jersey guy went to Seton Hall. He and Mo Vaughn were teammates there. Down the right field line, Bruce runs out of room. So Mike Leake now at 75 pitches. 51 strikes, 24 balls. He has struck out 5. Retired the Dodgers in order in the 1st and the 3rd. The Dodgers been pecking away at him, scoring a run in the 2nd. A leadoff double for Puig in the 4th, but he'd be stranded. And here in the 5th, 3 runs and 4 base hits already. On 1 and 2 with the outfield straight away. That's a ball, strike 3, and Puig knew it again. Second time Puig has been struck out looking by Mike Leake.
Locks him up with a fastball, and this is a dandy. It's a ball that Yasiel can handle, but it wasn't a ball he was looking for.
Similar to the pitch that struck him out in his first at-bat in the 1st inning.
Yeah, and both times I don't think he was, you know, he's so animated, but he wasn't mad. I don't think he was mad at the home plate. He wasn't mad at the call. He was like, those are good pitches. Those are strikes. I couldn't pull the trigger.
I just got beat.
Yeah.
Giants and Nationals tonight in San Francisco. Doug Fister and Madison Bumgarner. 0-1 to Gonzalez, who doubled in his first at-bat, ending an 0 for 20 slump. He'll come around to score on an Ethier double. Dodgers 4-0.
Those 2 pitchers out in San Francisco in that ballpark, that should be a low-scoring game.
Dodgers, got him. Ramirez picked off, and he knew it. But the Dodgers do come up with 3 runs, 4 hits. Leave nobody on after 4.5. Hanley got caught looking the other way and is punched out by Seth Buckminster, the first base umpire. An overcast all day and a 2-hour and 5-minute rain delay to begin the game. We've got a near full moon overhead, and join us for the next episode of Backstage Dodgers as the Dodgers scouting department selects players during the recently completed 2014 MLB draft. Plus, don't miss Yasiel Puig and the team as they head to Colorado and play in the snow. Catch this new episode of Backstage Dodgers Thursday at 7 o'clock on Sportsnet LA. Devin Mesoraco begins the bottom of the 5th. Beckett's got a 4-run lead to work with. Mesoraco struck out swinging in his first at-bat. Beckett living large tonight.
Getting a little support, and now gets himself a shutdown inning after that 3 spot goes up in the top of the 5th.
And with a Reds team that has been struggling, you don't want to give them any jolt of confidence at all. And so Beckett 2-2. Mesoraco, a strikeout victim in his first at bat. And Josh Beckett at this point has struck out 5, has not walked anybody. 57 pitches, only 18 balls, and just outside. Schumacher on deck, and then Zach Cozart. Mesoraco mired in an 0 for 18 slump. That's going to be 0 for 19. 1 out, nobody on here in the bottom of the 5th. Well, here's Schumacher getting the start tonight in left field. Ludwig, who started last night, watching. Chris Heisey, who has been doing a lot of watching this year. There's a strike, 0-1. Cozart on deck, and a breaking ball for a strike. He is so rhythmic tonight.
He's getting on the mound and he is letting it go, but he does have definitely a lot of flow in his body, the way it's coming out of his hand.
That's 6 strikeouts. He's given up just 1 base hit.
With the 6 Ks, the 3 ground balls, and 5 outs in the air.
Now here's Zach Cozart.
And we were talking about it. I mean, he has changed. He's going to the breaking ball more. Even that last pitch, going at it and throwing it for strikes, just attacking you even on an 0-2 count.
You know, and he will kiddingly say that he's now a thumber, which in baseball lingo, that's a guy who's a soft tosser. But you can't have this sharp a breaking ball and this good a changeup without good arm speed. You still have to have 90 mile an hour, 91. Sometimes he hits 92, 93. That's where the ability to spin the ball and make it break comes from, that arm speed. Does he have the athletic ability and a nice flexible wrist and hand to spin the ball? Very much so. But he still possesses the arm speed. It's not 96 miles an hour, but it's 91 to 93 when he wants it.
2 balls and a strike and 2 out.
Well, I can say as a hitter, when a pitcher on the mound that is confident in his breaking ball and has that sharp a break as now Josh Beckett is, that 91 and 92 looks like 95, 96, because I have to be so aware of that breaking ball at any count, at any time, that he can actually sneak that 91 past you.
89 fouled off to the right, swinging late. Pitcher Mike Leake is on deck. There is no more horrific sight or sound in baseball than that. Thank goodness for the ear flap.
Good thing seeing him standing up right now.
Everybody's in a state of shock when you see something like that. And somehow Cozart's going to stay in the game. Thank goodness. Oh. Well, let me ask both of you. Oral, you ever hit anybody in the head?
Yeah. It's really hard at first to get your competitive edge back because of the shock and the worry about him. And Josh is still looking over there at him and really trying to catch his eye, probably to. There he is. You all right, man? Because you don't feel complete until you've talked to the guy, and just that little bit, you all right, man, allows you almost permission to get back into your game face.
Now Mike Leake. Way outside, and understandably so.
Changes a lot. Your rhythm. All of a sudden, he feels the dirt under his left foot when his landing leg hits now, and all of a sudden, you know, it's like, all right, do I have my balance? Because you're actually going through a little bit of an inventory of why did that happen? How did that ball get that far away from me?
1 ball, 1 strike. And from a hitter's point of view, Nomar, when you are hit by a pitch, I don't know if you've been hit in the head, I imagine at some point.
I was very lucky. The only time it hit the brim of my helmet, and didn't ever get something like that. Thank goodness.
One of the things that has always astonished me about guys like you who can be hit by a pitch at whatever miles per hour and up around their head, to be able to get back into the box again and say, all right, it's as if it never happened.
And that's the mentality you have to have. I mean, I know it's it's kind of hard to explain, but that also is what makes us, you know, what makes this game so hard. Where it also separates people that go, gosh, you guys are willing to stand in there throwing so hard, but you know that's what it takes. Go out there and play this game, and you know that that's always a possibility.
3-1 to Leake with 2 out. 3-2.
So much of the mental part of this game is about what works and doesn't work, and you immediately know the thing you're battling doesn't work, so you almost have to cross it off the list. It doesn't exist.
I mean, there are times I've been thrown at in my head, moved out of the way, and then you have the next pitch coming in, and for me it almost fired me up, and I wanted to get closer.
Leake to left. Kemp is over. He's there. He's got it, and that ends the inning. Thank goodness. Well, the Dodgers are coming around and wishing Cozart the best. Dodger Stadium this Friday night. Friday night fireworks set to the theme of electronic dance music. After the game against the Diamondbacks, fans are invited down onto the field to enjoy the show. Compliments of Denny's. For tickets to the game and the show, visit Dodgers.com/promotions. Zach Cozart hit by a pitch, and thank goodness for the ear flap. And he's out there seemingly as if nothing happened. There are some players who, Josh still appears to be more shaken up about it than Cozart. Adrian Gonzalez will lead off in the 6th. There are some players who are able to get back in the box as if nothing happened, and there are other players who get the yips and aren't quite the same again. Or pitchers that take comebackers.
Yeah, both ends of the spectrum.
And it is just the way individuals are constructed. Gonzalez fouls it off to the left, and it's 0-1. In 1957, Herb Score was one of the great young pitchers in the game. Pitched for the Cleveland Indians. Took a line drive off the face, off the bat of Gil McDougall, the Yankees second baseman. And Score was never the same. Went on to become a great broadcaster and an enormously popular figure in Cleveland. But his career was essentially over with that. No balls and 2 strikes to Adrian Gonzalez. Tony Conigliaro, for instance, in Boston. It was Jack Fisher.
Aroldis Chapman right here. Just came back from it.
Some can, some can't. As Gonzalez goes down on strikes for the second time tonight. First out of the 6th inning. Aroldis Chapman, thankfully, is back. He is back being the closer again, and that was in spring training. Matt Kemp takes low and outside, 1 ball and no strikes. For Mike Leake, by the way, the strikeout of Gonzalez was his 7th of the game. The Dodgers a 4-0 lead, having out hit the Reds 7-2. Kemp has been struck out twice tonight. Takes high and in. Dodgers and Reds have at it again tomorrow. And we'll be back with your first pitch. About 4:10 Los Angeles time. Hyun-Jin Ryu and Johnny Cueto. Cueto with an ERA of $1.97. Thursday getaway day. And we'll be on the air at 9:30 on them Thursday morning. Zach Greinke and Alfredo Simon. And the Dodgers fly home. Weekend series with the Diamondbacks. There's Greinke, there's Herron, Carl Crawford. And the Rockies are in next Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and the Dodgers hit the road again. Here's a 3-1. Inside ball 4. First walk of the game given up by Leake. The Dodgers on the road, best in the National League, 21-12. Who said there's no place like home? Trying to right their ship with 6 games against the Rockies and the Diamondbacks. We were talking about it last night. Is there any kind of a reason or explanation other than it's just one of those things that the Dodgers are doing so well on the road and not at home?
You know, we all want to think, okay, there's got to be a stat, there's got to be something to explain it, but there really isn't. I mean, oftentimes, so many times it's the other way around.
That would make sense.
Right.
Last at bat, the comforts of home.
The advantage of playing at home is you bat last. The other advantage of playing at home is the human emotion of the umpire. that sometimes they think just that little edge of an umpire ringing up or calling out a player that has 50,000 fans rooting for him around is a little bit of an edge also. But it's kind of been studied that the home bed is not about a big deal. The home food, cooked food.
Right. But I also think there's a little edge though feeling that you feel when you're your home crowd too, that can get you. Yeah,
that too. Yep, the emotional side for the player.
Ethier, a double and 2 at bats, drove in a run. Takes outside.
Was there ever a disadvantage being a Red Sox when those fans would be on you, where home field did not feel like they were with you?
I'm sure they're
as tough as they are.
I was very fortunate. The fans were always so good to me, so I don't. But I know where they were hard on some other guys that were struggling, and it really took a lot mentally as a player to overcome that. And then
it's hard to boo a guy hitting 370.
Well, I like I said, I was very lucky. So, and they were always. And what I think, I think the world of those fans, but it can be tough.
Ethier checked his swing and the throw to first a bit late.
So Charlie, you were in New York a lot. Those guys, did it feel like a non-home field advantage when you were working the Yankee games?
The Yankees were pretty darn good in those years. So the fans, as the team goes, so go the fans. But I remember, for instance, when we would go up and play the Red Sox, and the Yankees would feed off the hostility of the Red Sox fans. It was a fuel for them. They rather enjoyed it.
Well, it was funny. I remember when going back to Yankee Stadium when I was playing with Oakland. I went back, played at Fenway. It was the first time in 5 years. It was the first time in 5 years I went back to Yankee Stadium. And I stepped into the box. And I looked at the catcher, and I was waiting. They booed me when I stepped in. I'm like, good, they didn't forget. I was looking forward to it. I wanted to hear it, and I was like, all right. I was excited to hear it.
That's a boo of memories, as opposed to boo, we really hate you.
Right. Well,
in those days, they did. Little number up the first baseline. It's a foul.
Well, like you said, it depends on how you look. It can fuel.
Yeah.
Give you a little bit of fuel.
I loved it going on the road and having the fans hate me. I loved it. Yeah. It fueled me, and I played something in my head of watching them after the game, walking out through the concourses, saying to each other, that Hershiser got us tonight, and making them mad. Because they were yelling a lot of venom at me over the bullpen, especially with the name and having the Dodger on your chest.
Well, your teammates
so
didn't have
your teammates mental games.
Didn't have the same venom that you did. No.
But the Giant fans, the Met fans, the Yankee fans. It was hard to play like in Pittsburgh at times when there was only 5,000 people in the stands, and to get up for the game.
Yeah, in those days, the only electricity was in the scoreboard.
Yeah, exactly. And one fan could get you. The guy with the big baritone voice right over your dugout. He's the only voice in the whole place, and you're on the mound, and you got this guy just airing you out the whole game. I'd rather have 50,000 screaming and be in an ocean of noise by yourself.
Don't you get that question often? Do you hear the fans when you're out there on this? The field, you hear them, and I'm like, well, actually, I would say when there's less of them, you do, because you can hear that one, like you said.
Yep.
On 3-2, the runner goes, and Phillips. Tough play. Yes, you got him. First base umpire Seth Buckminster. No argument. And Kemp goes to second.
It's amazing how all the players now are always waiting for it to come out. That's why the catcher goes to the pitcher, and I think he might have got there.
You know what replay also has done for us? I'll bet you we're going to have less ejections this year.
Well, we're going to watch it again on TV, and the folks in New York will get the vote.
This is because a lot of these where we end up going to replay just completely disarms all the arguments,
right? Or
the barking at the umpire immediately, because the barking's not useful right now. They were going to replay.
Well, right away, I mean, Andre, when he thought he was safe, Everybody thought he was safe, and everybody was automatically looking into the dugout for the replay. Like, you're going to come question that, right? You're going to come review that. Right. So that's instead of going straight to the umpire and being in his face, you're looking in your dugout like, hey, you're coming out, checking.
How many times have we had to see Lorenzo Bundy or Davey Lopes intersect the player to keep them in the game and to keep the argument down? We haven't seen it at all.
Ooh, I tell you, we got a good angle up there. They're showing it here at the field. I think he gets there. I think they're going to call him safe.
Well, crew chief Jim Reynolds and Seth Buckminster, the first base umpire who made the call, on the Wolfman telephone.
Yeah, I think he gets there. I think he gets the foot there before that ball is in the glove.
That's what they're watching on the scoreboard here. And looks like he beat it.
You know, the umpire is watching the foot and listening for the ball. And when the ball is being underhanded, a backhand underhand from Brandon Phillips, you don't have the loud sound like you have the full strength throw that's coming over there 90 miles an hour from the shortstop, and it's bang bang.
Because that's what they rely on
that, and I'm sure that sound was a little muted.
It wasn't bang bang, it was bang thud.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
And that takes everybody out of
that's
the
what people at home don't really realize that's what the umpire is doing. He's utilizing his sight and his ears. He's looking at the base to see when they touch it and the foot that stays on, and then he's listening for the glove, for the ball to hit the glove. And you know where that term tie goes to the runner is because it would be one sound as compared to just not like a sound and a sound, or he's looking at that. So they're thinking, oh, if it's one, he's safe. But it doesn't. There's no such thing as tie goes to the runner. But that's kind of where they're like, wait a minute, it was all one sound.
So meanwhile, Ethier is in fact safe. It took 2 minutes and 4 seconds to get it right. The Dodgers have first and second, and Turner fouls it back. It's 0-1.
And that was an error, I would think, on Brandon Phillips.
They called it a base hit.
A hit.
Probably in deference to Brandon Phillips.
There's no way that was a hit.
You're looking at me like it's my fault.
That will be changed. Major League Baseball will change that within 24 hours. There is no way that was a hit.
Well, for the moment.
I'm not changing my book.
All right.
Well, that'll show him.
I'm here if you need me.
Dear Commissioner Seelig, my friend Oral,
who scores in pen.
That's the reason you're not changing. 1 ball, 1 strike. It's outside. 2-1 to Justin Turner. It's Drew Butera on deck. Well, the whole idea of the replay rule is to get the plays right. And it's it fits and starts along the way, but it seems to be working right.
I like it. I mean, I think there's still some tweaks and things that are going to go along the way. I think it could be done a little bit quicker, but for the most part, that's what it was. It's all about getting it right, and there's technology now to do that, so utilize it.
I don't feel good about arguing it because it takes away a hit from Andre, so I'll change my book.
That's a man of principle.
Oh, jeez.
Well, it's a homer.
Yeah.
That's a homer on the road.
Andre's thanking you on that one.
Let's take a look at this play. You tell me if this is a hit or an error, Nomar. You played the infield. This is a 2-hopper. Andre's not even in the screen.
I've never had a ball that way, and it's not an easy play because you're that in between hop, but if that happened to me, I'm like, okay, that's an error.
Oh my God. That's an error in Little League. That's an error at the Little League World Series, the College World Series, every place.
You take it up with Ethier after the game.
Oh, I won't.
Ethier's good.
After he listens to this, I'm going to have to take him to dinner.
You're right. No matter what angle
you're going to have to buy
it,
him a restaurant.
Right? No matter what angle, it's an error.
Into short right field, and for the second time in as many nights, Justin Turner with a drop shot volley into right, drives in a run. Kemp comes in to score, and the Dodgers lead 5-0.
Great job by Matt Kemp getting a break there, and he's got a very nice angle on that looping fly ball because he's at second base, so he gets the third dimension. He sees where Brandon Phillips is playing. He sees Joey Votto's depth, but take a look where Matt Kemp is. He reads it right there. He's got, okay, nobody's getting it. In his peripheral vision, he can gauge Votto, Phillips, and Bruce.
It's the end of the night for Mike Leake. Great job of base running for Matt Kemp. Another RBI for Turner. Sam LeCure is on his way in, and the Dodgers lead by 5.
Five to nothing lead, and they're still threatening here in the top of the 6th inning. A man on first and second for Drew Butera, who will be at the plate. I want to talk a little bit more about Justin Turner. He now has posted 4 consecutive multi-hit games, and he continues to perform well in the absence of Juan Uribe, who's nursing that hamstring issue. Turner's really turned into one of the Dodgers' hottest hitters, batting .346 with 3 doubles, 3 home runs, and 11 RBI in his last 15 games since May 22nd. These are the numbers coming into tonight's game, guys. So I don't know if you can talk about it a little bit, but just what is he doing so effectively at the plate?
I'll tell you, he's really just looks comfortable. That's really like he's going, okay, I know my role. I've been that guy, and I'm supposed to be filling in for Juan Uribe, and he's doing an excellent job of it.
And he's had a couple of bleeders in the last 2 nights too, but they each have driven in runs.
Better that than going up there and striking out. That's what we, hey, strike, put the ball in play. You never know what's going to happen, and hey, they're falling in for him.
Absolutely, and the Dodgers with a 5-0 lead. And here is Sam LeCure, missing outside 1 ball and no strikes.
Put it in play. Hit a ground ball to second. They'll call it a hit.
Whoa!
Wow!
Oral.
Oh my God! I love it. I love it.
On the edge tonight. Well, you have a 4-time Gold Glover, hometown.
Yeah, I think the glove was made of gold right there.
Oh. No, I don't even know who he is anymore.
I'll call off the jam. We're playing roller derby. I'll call off the jam.
Oh. Well, I understand because it would go down for a pitcher like an earned run.
It just frustrates me that a great fielder like Nomar wouldn't back me up when he knows in between innings you are laughing off air at me and you're not backing me up.
Well, I'm laughing at how fired up you are. I mean, I know that was an error. I think I'm laughing because there are plenty of times where I can see an error on infielders, and it was like, wait, that's got to be a hit. I mean, that was either smoked or whatever. And it actually happens more that way than that.
And I'm with you if it happens.
Okay. So that's what I'm chuckling.
I'm going to be a good teammate.
It's not a matter of being a good teammate.
Heath, you're at second. Turner is at first, and Butera takes outside.
I just like seeing you all fired up about that. That's what I like.
You know my nickname.
I know. I was thought other things would get you fired up than that, though. Wow.
Boys. 3-1. Beckett on deck. Dodgers lead by 5. And Butera takes a walk. Well, they're not used to calling errors in Cincinnati. They have made the fewest in Major League Baseball this year, just 27.
I can see why.
Oh, you set that one up for him, Charlie. Oh, my goodness.
Because it was there. And now with the bases loaded, Beckett, who's got a hit and a run scored tonight. Ethier, Turner, and Butera the runners. 5 runs and 9 hits for the Dodgers now. And to short right field. Bruce will make the catch, and Ethier's going to stay put. That's the second out. And it brings up D. Gordon.
D. Gordon, his last at bat, hit a RBI double going down the left field line, and you can use another one of those right now.
D is 1 for 3, a run scored and that RBI. So the Dodgers with 3 runs in the 5th, 1 here in the 6th, a 5-0 lead. Gordon's been terrific all year, runners in scoring position. Breaking ball for a strike. Dodgers with runners in scoring position this year, 258. But when the bases are loaded, there's a strike, 0-2. Ramirez on deck. Dodgers have won 3 of their last 4. Still kicking themselves for losing that game in Colorado on Saturday in extra innings. Five runs and 9 hits. No runs, 2 hits Cincinnati. On 0-2. Do it again. And tomorrow it's Ryu and Cueto, Cincinnati's finest. And Thursday morning, Mattingly and his troops will have Zach Greinke against Alfredo Simon. Will be on the air first pitch at 9:35 Pacific. A long flight home and a weekend series with the Diamondbacks next Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday with Colorado. And on 0-2, down goes Gordon. But the Dodgers come up with a run, 1.5 hits, and lead 5-0. Blue heaven on earth, Dodger Stadium, this Saturday for Tommy Lasorda bobblehead night. First 50,000 fans in attendance will take home a mini Brooklyn throwback Tommy for their collection compliments of State Farm. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/promotions. Final line on Mike Leake, 5 1/3, 5 runs and 9 hits. 7 strikeouts, 1 walk, 96 pitches, 65 for strikes. Meanwhile, Josh Beckett cruising right along. He's hit a batter, he's given up a hit, and that's a sum total of the Cincinnati offense as Billy Hamilton leads off in the 6th. And he takes a strike, 0-1. Beckett's 76th pitch, that's all, is inside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Beckett just continues to cruise along, just short on the second hop. Hanley Ramirez throws him out, 1 gone. Josh Beckett, of course, 3 starts ago, the no-hitter in Philadelphia. In his last outing last Wednesday against the White Sox, 2 runs, 9 hits in 6 innings. The start before that, 2 runs and 5 hits in 5 innings against the Pirates. Beckett, this is his 12th start. He has given up more than 2 earned runs only 3 times all year.
To start today, the 2.57 ERA was 9th in the league, and to think that he's pitching with good fortune. The batting average against coming in today was 213. That was 5th in the National League.
And it's getting lower. He's given up just a couple of hits tonight. One of them to the pitcher, Mike Leake. Frazier had a hit in the 4th. And then he pops it foul, and it's going to be out of play.
What the other thing he's done today, and I know, Oral, you talk about it so much, is that he's got the first batter out in 5 of the 6 innings so far.
Frazier with the leadoff single in the 4th. It's the only guy that's gotten on base to begin an inning. 6 strikeouts, no walks.
Nomar, we talked about the mental adjustment that Josh Beckett had to make going from a fastball pitcher to a breaking ball pitcher, or at least using the breaking ball more predominantly. What's the adjustment the hitter has to make mentally, especially the guess hitters, that all of a sudden he's not in the same sequence?
Well, if you're a guess hitter, then you're really, like I said, that scouting report that you had before, you really have to focus on what he's doing this year.
Look at that breaking ball.
and that's, you know, you and I both talked to Josh about how he's looked this year, and my biggest thing was to tell him was I can't assume what you're going to throw me like I used to in the past, such as this breaking ball. In that situation, I would be looking more fastball than breaking ball off of you. And now I can't just gear up looking for one pitch. Yep. I really have to pay attention to the situation and see if you're getting into a pattern if I'm a guess hitter. If I'm a guess hitter, I am really looking at the numbers and going, okay, is there a pattern? Is he throwing the curveball predominantly in a certain count? Is he going to it when he finds himself on the ropes? Whatever it may be.
Joey Votto, his first game back in nearly 3 weeks, takes up and in.
And the guess hitters they study mainly what you throw on first pitch and what is your out pitch. What do you go to? And then now, at the level that the guys are getting the information now, there's a few of them that are actually trying to study it by count when they go up to the plate. And that's absolutely unbelievable. They go with the tendencies. If a guy's over 65 or 70% of this pitch in certain counts, they look.
Votto's been struck out twice tonight. About the first time I've seen Beckett shake off Gutierrez. Three and one. Votto had 1 rehab game. That was last night, and he was pressed into duty tonight. First walk of the game given up by Josh Beckett. 2 out here in the bottom of the 6th.
Well, you were mentioning, you were talking about Josh Beckett, you're talking about hitters, so they go, oh, well, they're breaking it down even what their tendencies are over the course of the count, what they go to. You get it broken down so much, and I know guys who look at it and go, not just the count, but the second time through the lineup, or the second time I'm up, coming up, how are they trying to attack me? Or the third time, what he likes to go to see if their tendency's there.
Yeah, usually it's less fastballs as a pitcher gets tired, and he starts to go to secondary stuff more.
Honeycutt calls to the bullpen. There's 2 out in the bottom of the 6th, and a call, strike, 0-1.
See, that's what that last pitch there on Brandon Phillips. You saw him just kind of flinch a little bit on that breaking ball, and that says a lot about Josh Beckett's breaking ball and how sharp it is. And when it's coming out, you're not recognizing it as a hitter, and it's getting you to flinch.
Phillips, a 3-time All-Star, takes outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Chase Utley is the leading vote getter for the All-Star game at second base, and D. Gordon, the Dodgers' second baseman.
And here's that breaking ball I was talking about. See how Brandon Phillips right there, that slight hesitation off of it? I mean, that means Josh Beckett is throwing his fastball and his breaking ball at the same spot, arm slot.
Into left center field. Ethier's on his horse. So is Kemp. It is Ethier who makes the catch in front of Kemp. And that will end the inning. Well struck by Phillips. Well played by Andre Ethier. No runs, no hits, a walk. And 1 man left. We go to the 7th. Dodgers 5-0. Has given up 2 base hits. He has struck out 7, walked 1, and comes into the game with a 5-0 lead. Beckett, in his last 2 starts, received 2 runs of support in each of those starts, and tonight he's living large.
It's funny you say that, because I'll tell you, even as a teammate offensively, you know, you're going, gosh, we got to get this guy some runs, and you feel good about yourselves, like, all right, we're scoring some runs for him finally.
Again, that's one of those numbers. Here's a guy who gets lack of run support. Are there any logical reasons why a pitcher is just doomed to bad luck? Or are they oftentimes going up against the ace of the other team? Or is it just one of those numbers where you just don't want to go to Vegas with it?
I don't know how Josh's run support has been over his career. I know he's very much a winning pitcher, but somebody who works slow, like he does at times, I would see that as a possible excuse of why he couldn't get some runs. And not that there's a bad attitude from the team. It's just that like Nomar said, you feel so much better behind a guy who has pace, and you get back in the dugout. The innings are over quick, even if you give up runs.
When you're out there defensively for such a long time, if a pitcher's working slow, it gets you kind of fatigued, and you kind of feel a bit, just a hair lethargic, when you feel like you don't even have, even defensively, like you're just half a step off from a range standpoint.
Ramirez, who's 1 for 3, is about to be 1 for 4. As Frazier calls off Mesoraco, first out.
And, you know, Oral, there's a lot to what you're saying. I mean, that's an excellent point, that there are times that it can just, that kind of fatigue you feel in defense, and it carries in when you come into the dugout. But I don't think that's the only reason. I'm not saying that, well, that's the reason why. It sometimes, Charlie, you really can't explain why.
The other guys, I think, Nomar, though, for me, are the guys that strike out a lot of guys, where the defense is just out there watching a show.
I was just about to say Pedro Martinez was one of those guys. I was about to say Pedro. We just couldn't score for him, and I'm like, why are we not scoring for one of the best pitchers of all time out here?
Here's Puig taking outside, 1 ball, no strikes. You know, we are buried under an avalanche of stats. Some are germane and relevant. You and I were talking about it for an hour before the game today, and numbers are, then there are just numbers that, there are numbers, and they don't accurately reflect necessarily how a team or a player is going to work itself out or himself out. And again, run support, is there any kind of a logical reason? Dodgers disparity home and road record. Is there any kind of a reason where you can statistically say, yes, here it is? But for the most part, sometimes it just works out that way.
Well, because of that, are we seeing more and more, say, Cy Young Award winners based on more their ERA rather than just their record, because they're going, well, one pitcher might have had more run support than another one, but the person who has the lower ERA not allowing it, that's more valuable?
Ooh. The Cy Young that we saw that was really the statistical Cy Young of the new wave was Felix Hernandez, King Felix. The win-loss record was not in line with the ERA or any of the WHIP or any of the other statistics.
Right. And in his run support was just
minuscule.
Right.
And I think he probably warranted the Cy Young that year. I'm not sure that it took the new stats to get him the Cy Young.
Puig with a base hit. And Yasiel Puig with his second hit of the night.
But we were looking at all the stats here coming into the game, and the Dodgers are getting an awful lot of double plays. You know, is that a good stat or a bad stat? You know,
yeah.
And I think it's a pretty neutral stat.
Right.
It's just one of those numbers.
Right. You know, there's a lot of opportunity that would say, oh, that's a bad stat. And then there's a lot of them getting done. That's a good stat because your pitchers are getting ground balls and your fielders are turning it.
Just play the game.
I've got a stat. Yasiel Puig's 24th multi-hit game of the year. He is tied for the league lead with Lucroy, Tulowitzki, and Angel Pagan. And he now steals a base. For whatever reason, he opts not to slide.
And the in-between is like, oh my gosh, and he is a little bit tender just after this because he goes, I'm going to slide, and then decides to stop.
Bodies aren't meant to do that.
Ankles aren't meant to stop 240-pound bodies running full speed on odd angles.
Or hips.
Well, we've seen him slide feet first, and that's just as scary. The only, the only time where he looks smooth is when he goes head first. Yeah, grabbing his leg, and
I mean, we see if the bag would have been involved with what he just did, he's going to hurt something. And we see it with players because they're going into second base. The ball's been hit to the outfield. They're deciding to slide because they thought it was stolen base. Now they realize the ball's been hit, and they go from sliding to making a turn. And now the bag's involved, and that's when we've seen guys really hurt themselves.
I'm called by Jim Reynolds.
You know, as we take a look again, and we've been seeing it aftermath, he's grabbing that, that hamstring, right. You can see why it took the brunt of that weight. You know, that's an excellent idea right there. You see a guy going over there, he's kind of messing with his legs, and you're going, all right, I'm going to see how good that leg is. I'm going to try to pick you off. That's a great job by the Reds there.
For Puig, it was his 7th stolen base. Gonzalez is 1 for 3. He's doubled and scored a run. He also struck out twice. LeCure in his 2nd inning of relief. And it's 2-1. So Beckett and the Dodgers with a 5-0 lead. The Dodgers have out-hit the Reds 10-2. Fouled off. This game started at 9:15. 2 hours and 5 minutes later than it was supposed to. Had overcast, threatening skies all day, and it's closing in on the midnight hour. And they'll be right back at it tomorrow. Two and two.
Well, we know Adrian's been going through a slump and got the double tonight, but to me, he looks like he wants to swing his way out of it. He's taking some big cuts.
He is, and once again, we're seeing him foul off pitches that's frustrating, because those are usually pitches he'll make contact or he does drive.
When you're hot, you're hitting,
yeah,
you're squaring
you do,
those up.
and that, as a hitter, that's what frustrates you.
That's a good swing, though. That was a good spoil. But you're talking about the couple before that.
The couple before that.
They're up in his eyes.
That's what would be frustrating for myself when I was playing. Like, that one is just, okay, I made contact, I'm staying alive. But, you know, when I was going in, or I'd be talking to my hitting coach, and they're like, you know, when I say maybe I struck out or I rolled over and I had 2 strikes, and they're like, well, you're going after bad pitches. I'm like, I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about the ones before where I fouled off to get to that position.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Well, we figured it'd be a pretty good pitching duel in San Francisco tonight between Pfister and Bumgarner. They're playing in the 5th, and the Nationals have a 1-0 lead. Dodgers have a 5-0 lead here in Cincinnati. Three and two.
So you still see Yasiel Puig kind of moving those legs, kind of look like he's trying to get loose, and yet he's still so active out there, bouncing around. And I'm like, okay, are you hurt? Are you not? Are you something bothering you? And if you are, then calm down and let the hitter swing away, especially when you got 2 strikes on the hitter and a guy like Adrian Gonzalez that can drive you in.
3 and 2. And Gonzalez can drive him in. Into the right field corner. And Adrian Gonzalez goes to second base with his 2nd double of the night. His 39th run batted in. And the Dodgers lead 6-0.
I'll tell you, well, there's some good and bad things on this right here. The good thing is Adrian Gonzalez. Great job. We talked about him spoiling that ball, that pitch right before that to get this one up in the zone and driving it to right field for an RBI double. Positive. Thing negative is, why is Yasiel going here? There's really just no need, especially if your leg was bothering you on the steal before. We see him grimacing right there. I talked about that. You have a guy at the plate who can drive you in. You're quick enough to score from there. There is no need to think about stealing, especially when there's 2 strikes on the hitter.
So it's 6 runs and 11 hits for the Dodgers, and Kemp fouls it back. Stan Conti.
Yeah, see, and they're probably scratching their head as a medical staff going, okay, your leg's bothering. We saw you when you stole second. Why were you thinking about stealing third then?
Why ask why?
Yeah. Just keep scratching my head a little bit. I feel like Oro scratching his head on that error or hit, whatever they called it.
We got on base, and Matt Kemp takes inside. 1 ball and 1 strike. So Adrian Gonzalez with our Carl's Cam peak at a nice looking swing.
Yeah, that's an angle right there that Adrian Gonzalez is going to go. And, you know, when you're in a slump, you want to see it again, kind of get it back in your memory, fresh in your memory. Look what I did well. I kept that front shoulder and I got the barrel out. I let the ball travel to me. I did all of these positive things.
Kemp way out in front.
As late as we started, and as many runs as the Dodgers have on the board right now, Matt drives this one in. We're literally and figuratively putting the Reds to bed.
We're going to wait till the midnight hour. Kemp on 1 and 2. Well, this is one of those games for the Dodgers. When they win, they average about 6 runs and 10 hits a game. When they lose, it's about 3.5 runs and 7 hits a game. And so it's hard to get a handle on these guys.
It really tells me that when they play the better teams and the tougher pitchers, or get in the tough games, they've got to learn to score from the 7th inning on, those key 1-run games. Get the guy in from third. We saw that with Matt Kemp in the tough game where they lost in Colorado. Get the guy over from second with no outs. Find a way to manufacture 1 and 2 runs in those tight games.
Kemp is struck out for the 3rd time tonight. And for LeCure, his 2nd strikeout. And it brings up Andre Ethier, who was 2 for 3. The run batted in. And again, in the case of Andre Ethier against Mike Leake, the numbers suggested what would happen tonight. He was 2 for 3 against him. Ethier gets to first base the hard way.
That might have been a little professional accounting. You got a player on the Reds who got hit in the head. You got 2 out and first base open, and it's just a little bit maybe of, Andre, you need to wear it so that we can balance the books. And if it was balancing the books, I'm glad it was waist high.
That's a redefinition of a waist pitch. Justin Turner is 2 for 3. And a run scored and an RBI. Cozart will go the long way home. And that'll end the inning. 1 run and 2 base hits, 2 left, 7th inning stretch. Puig and the Dodgers lead by 6. Phillies Dodgers with a 6-0 lead as we go to the bottom half of the 7th inning, and Paul Maholm is making his 15th appearance of the year. He has made 7 starts, and now this is his 9th out of the bullpen. And the first pitch to Jay Bruce is a strike, 0-1. So Beckett does a great job tonight in his 6 innings of work. No runs and 2 hits. As Maholm delivers and Bruce swings and misses.
Paul Maholm really getting starter rest. Hasn't been in there for almost a week. But out of the bullpen, he has been outstanding. His fastball has kind of been upgraded with the rest that he's gotten out there in the bullpen and the short-term outings that he's had, because he's been able to come in with the adrenaline and empty the tank.
And he's not throwing just 1 inning. He's providing some stopgap measures for the other fellas. So he's pitching oftentimes 2 innings an outing. And he gives the Wilsons and the Perez's and the Leagues, and the Howells the night off.
We really have a left-right punch now with Jamie Wright and Paul, as far as in the bullpen, as far as the guys that can be the long men.
Well, Bruce is going to split the seam. The ball goes to the wall, and Bruce will arrive at second base.
And some might ask, why do you take Josh Beckett out? He's only got 90 pitches, but Josh is still recovering, and I think they're still watching the 128 pitch no-hitter. And then the next outing he went 88 pitches, the next outing he went 99, and now this outing goes 90 pitches. And with this big a lead right now on the road, Josh had to wait around an extra 2 hours before the start started. I think they're just being a little precautious and conservative of the long haul now that Josh Beckett has really proved to be an integral part of this rotation.
And you can do that with a 6-run lead. Devin Mesoraco is the batter, and he is 0 for 2. And Mesoraco's been struggling. He's hitless in his last 19 at-bats. And he fouls it off his foot to make matters worse. They sold 27,692 tickets for this. A quick look around the ballpark. They didn't all show up, or they left early. Again, we had heavy rain that began right around 6 o'clock. And we didn't begin this game till sometime after 9. First pitch was supposed to be at 7:10. And oh, by the way, it's about 10 to midnight. Mesoraco is struck out and bounced to third. And Skip Schumacher is on deck. Nationals now with a 2-0 lead in San Francisco. Fister and Bumgarner. Oh, look at the play by Justin Turner. He's going to get up and throw and not get him. Well, that saved a run. And Bruce unable to advance from second to third. Wow.
I hope Justin Turner's okay. He makes a tremendous play on this one, as you mentioned, trying to get the out here, saves a run. And after the play, just kind of walking around a little gingerly, so hopefully he's okay. But we've talked about how great Justin Turner's been with the bat, but with the glove, holding the runner there at second base.
Terrific play by Justin Turner. Now here's Schumacher, first and second, nobody out. Takes high and in. 1 ball and no strikes. Cozart on deck as Schumacher swings and misses. And Chris Perez getting up. With a watchful eye of Chuck Krim. Well, this is the time of night with the population inside the Great American Ballpark where you can hear conversations. Down on the field. Two and one to Schumacher.
A little bit of pressure on Paul Maholm right here. Hadn't been out there for 6 days or so. Now you find yourself in a jam. First and second no out, and you're trying to zero in your gun to hit the corner.
Right into the glove of Turner.
And unfortunately, you catch a break like that.
Turner, if he looked directly to first base instead of second, would have had Mesoraco doubled up.
What are your instincts right there, Nomar?
To look at second, because that's where the ball, see how the ball is going to his left, so your instinct is thinking, can I get the lead runner?
The easier throw, too, is that way.
The closer one, the lead runner, the ball's carrying me that way. That's why you look there first. And as you mentioned, and Mesoraco at first, I think, might have hurt himself, recognizing he was way off the bag there and trying to get back.
Now here's Zach Cozart coming up. Cozart hit by a pitch. The ear flap. That was back in the 5th inning, which scared everybody in the building, up to and including Josh Beckett. Since Barry Larkin retired in 2006, or after 2005 to be precise, the Reds have used 23 different starting shortstops. Here are some of the names. Wilson Valdez, who played for the Dodgers. Orlando Cabrera. Paul Janisch, Alex Gonzalez, Jeff Keppinger. Edgar Renteria. And the pitchers. No balls, 2 strikes. Juan Castro, back with the Dodgers. Cesar Asturias. Obert Cabrera, also a Dodger. Didi Gregorius before he was traded to Arizona. Let's see. But wait, there's more. Royce Clayton. Brandon Phillips actually played shortstop for a couple of games.
Okay.
So these are all guys that Phillips has had to play with since he came up.
He played.
And a certain Jerry Hairston Jr. has been one of the shortstops employed here. And a base hit into left field for Cozart. And that's the first run of the game for the Reds. Cozart hit in the head by a pitch earlier in the game. Pays back the Dodgers with an RBI single to left at 6-1.
And that ball was hit hard, and Matt Kemp did a good job. He ran to that, sprinted there, and then threw off the run, recognizing that I have to get this ball in quickly to hopefully keep the runner at second base. And that's what he does. Cozart smoked this ball to left field. Watch Matt Kemp. He grabs it, just throws off the run because he knows his momentum was carrying him just to get it back in the infield. Maybe didn't throw it to the right place, but he got it in quick. And because he got it in quick, man, the runner going to second had to hold up and wait.
I think he took a page out of Yasiel Puig's book. Because we saw Yasiel do that earlier in the year in right center.
And here comes Mattingly. It looks like he's going to make a double switch. Chris Heisey has just been announced to pinch hit. And it looks like Chris Perez, the righty, will come on in. Mattingly takes the ball from Maholm. And we'll get to the details when we come back. Dodgers lead 6-1. 2 on, 1 out, bottom half of the 7th. and took the loss as the Rockies scored in the bottom half of the 10th inning. Perez, it's been a struggle after a good month of April. May and June have been unkind.
Been a little bit rushy, not really trusting his stuff. He has been outstanding with the changeup and the slider, but they kind of abandoned him as far as the location. He's still throwing them and still sticking with them, but I think hitters, as Nomar has told us so many times, when you see a pitcher struggle with command with his secondary stuff, you start eliminating those pitches and you get backed into a corner.
So here's Heisey. Pennsylvania born and bred. A career .254 hitter, but just .228 in spot duty this year, and he takes a strike. It's 0-1. So Mahalam faces 4 batters and didn't fool any of them. Retired 1 run is in, and Heisey fouls it off to the left. Billy Hamilton is on deck, 1 out. Mesoraco is at second. Cozart at first. And Perez misses outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Chris has inherited 15 runners this year, and only 3 have scored. And as far as first batter effectiveness, he's faced 23 guys, and only 4 hits have been given up.
On 1 and 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes, and after the follow through, Perez stumbles. Replace your divots.
Looked like he might have turned his ankle there just a little bit.
It's one of the hazards of being a reliever is you deal with a mound that is unmanicured, and everybody else has created some holes. Sometimes they have to move around. They like to work from a certain place. And I know this wasn't his landing leg, and I know it wasn't where he's putting his foot on the rubber, but there are times when they have to move around because of the craters.
Three and 2. Call strike 3. And Heisey knew it.
4 for 24 as far as leadoff batters or first batters faced for Chris Perez. Comes in and puts a little water on this fire so far with this fastball right there.
There's 2 out. And Billy Hamilton coming up. Hamilton 0 for 3 and was 0 for 4 last night. And it's 0-1. Mesoraco runs like a catcher at second. Cozart is at first. And the Dodgers lead by 5 with 2 out. A run in the bottom of the 7th. Frazier on deck. And Todd Frazier is the Reds' leading home run and RBI guy. So Perez wants to get out of this inning by dispatching Hamilton. One ball, 1 strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Hamilton has lined to third. Nubbed one in front of home plate. And Butera threw him out in the 3rd. He's also bounced to short. We're going to wait till the midnight hour. Wilson Pickett. Wait no more.
We've seen the Dodgers play games to this late, and it started on time. It's felt that way, right?
Well, we were ahead yesterday, and we can win today.
So this would make it a day-night single header. Ooh, just low. It's 2-2.
I'd be surprised if he doesn't throw him a breaking ball right here. The scouting report on Billy Hamilton is he has struggled with the breaking ball, and as our old skipper Tommy Lasorda would say, the only thing this guy knows about hitting a curve is when he's been in a car and he's driven around one.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Up the middle into center field for a base hit. And holding at third is Mesoraco, and the bases are loaded. Well, we said Mesoraco runs like a catcher, and third base coach Steve Smith, the pride of Pepperdine, put up the stop sign. So he wouldn't go around the curve.
Right. And, you know, they attended Mesoraco. They were looking at him. Remember when he was trying to get back to first? So that might have some reason why. And also didn't want to get out of this inning with Andre charging on that ball. And you have, as you mentioned, their top home run hitter and their top RBI guy coming in Frazier.
And the outfielders don't play very deep with Hamilton hitting.
No.
They're very shallow.
So the bases are loaded and 2 out.
You weren't too fond of that pitch selection, were you, Oro?
No, not the way he's been swinging at that slider. Swinging at the slider like he didn't know where it was.
Outside, 1 ball, no strike. J.P. Howell now beginning to warm in the bullpen. If Frazier gets on, Votto is on deck. Six innings for Beckett with the greatest of ease. 1 ball, 1 strike.
I'll tell you what, that swing right there by Frazier, he was not trying to knock everyone in.
You're Chris Perez, you're glad to have that ball back in your hand and no runs in.
13 home runs, 32 runs batted in for Frazier. And it's 2-1.
Tell you, Frazier scares me because he's one of those hitters when he's ahead of the count, he's so aggressive, looking for that one pitch. And like I said, right now in this situation, he's thinking about driving everyone and himself in.
228 with runners in scoring position, 0 for 3 with the bases loaded, and it's now 3-1. And you can't help but wonder about the confidence level of Chris Perez. Gave up the game-winning run in his last outing up in Colorado, and it's 3-1, 3-2.
Taking some time to think about it right here. It's not the same rhythm as he's had to get to this count. There's a lot of time right here and a lot of thought.
3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Mesoraco, Cozart, and Hamilton on deck.
As much as I didn't like the fastball to Hamilton, I love the fastball right there. Because the slider right now, he's overthrown. He's either pulling into the left-hander's batter's box or he's spinning it. And it's coming out the top half of his hand. It's just laying there in the middle of the plate. I think his best pitch right now is a fastball away.
Frazier hitting 276. 3-2, 2 out. There go the runners. Ground ball to short. Ramirez has it, throws to first, and the inning is over. But the Reds score a run. 4 hits and leave 3. We go to the 8th. The Dodgers 6-1. half as we head to the 8th on the banks of the Ohio River, and it's time to take a look at the upcoming calendar, brought to you by 76. Dodgers and Reds back at it tomorrow, 4 o'clock Pacific, Thursday morning at 9:30, then a long flight back, and a weekend series back at Dodger Stadium. Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday afternoon. And then next week, next Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, the Dodgers will be hosting the Colorado Rockies. Chris Perez, the weight of the world has been removed from his right shoulder.
Well, it looks like he listened to Orioles on that last pitch and got that fastball in the outer half and induced a ground ball. And as you said, not just off his shoulders, but I'm sure all of the Dodgers are breathing a little bit of sigh of relief right there. Get out of it. Now let's get to hitting, try to score some runs off Sean Marshall.
So the Dodgers go shopping at Marshall's here in the 8th, beginning with Drew Butera, who is 0 for 2 and a walk. Big lefty has struggled this year, the former Cub. Big breaking ball outside and high, 1 ball and no strikes. Jamie Romack will pinch hit for Perez. 1 ball, 1 strike to Butera. Tomorrow, by the way, it'll be Hyun-Jin Ryu and Johnny Cueto. Brian Wilson now warming in the Dodger bullpen as the Dodgers lead by 5. So Ryu and Cueto tomorrow. Thursday morning, 9:30 Pacific, Greinke and Simon. Up the middle into center field for a base hit. Clean single for Butera, beginning the 8th inning on this early Wednesday morning in Cincinnati. Someone's up past their bedtime. Oh.
Are you talking about us? Are you talking about us?
Yeah.
Beside us. Now here's Romack.
The post-game spread's going to have an omelet station.
Well played, Oral. Well played.
Romack goes it foul. There are a lot of folks inside the Great American Ballpark apparently have no place else to go.
No place else is open.
They were 25 when the game began.
Oral, you are 2 for 2.
2 for 2, but Charlie just had the big one. They were 25 when the game began. We're punch drunk. Let Alana go home. She can be the only one that'll be rested tomorrow.
Like the starting pitcher the next day, huh? 1 ball and 1 strike. Outside 2-1.
What's it like down there in Alana in the bunker?
Well, who's going to come down here and get the player coming off the field and going into the clubhouse? If one of you guys want to do that, I would be happy to go to the hotel.
You tell them,
I'm sure you
Alana.
guys would do a fine job down here in my little spot.
Who's going to be up for the post game?
Nobody.
There she is down there in a little slicker.
There she is. Hi. Plenty of good seats still available. So if you're in the neighborhood. Now the 2-2.
Love to see Jamie Romack get a knock right here. He had a tough day yesterday getting that start, and I thought he had some borderline calls that go against rookies. A couple of at-bats kind of put him in a hole or punched him out. And he would grind it away. Even though he found his name not in the lineup when he got here today, he was grinding away on yesterday, watching film. And I guess it's not film, digital replay.
Into right field. And Bruce is there. "12 years off Broadway for Jamie Romack. One out, one on, and here's D. Gordon. Jim Reynolds, the home plate umpire, enjoying his conversation with D. Gordon. And D tonight has a hit and a run scored and an RBI in 4 at-bats. Well, both teams desperately wanted to get this game in tonight no matter what. This, of course, is the only trip into Cincinnati for the year. Weather forecast is fairly dreary for tomorrow. Likewise Thursday. So the thought of playing a doubleheader, a day-night doubleheader, however it would be configured. There's a line drive just foul, or that would have been a triple. Any ball into the right field corner off the bat of Gordon is 3 bases. In Gordon's case, a walk is as good as a double. A hit into the right field corner is as good as a triple. So they wanted to get this game in no matter what time it started. And it started at 9:15 local time, 2 hours and 5 minutes after it was supposed to. And so with bad weather tomorrow and not so great weather on Thursday, how are they going to squeeze it in? Well, we're going to wait it out till the rain stops. And it hasn't rained since. Look at it.
Oh. That is so scary.
Oh. Just foul balls like that, don't you wish that they were like, if they just extended the net farther to protect these fans.
Well, they do that in Japan.
Yeah.
They have the netting pretty much down the third base line.
Listen, players can't even react that quickly on those balls. How would you expect the fan to react?
Into left. Schumacher retreating. Two out, and Hanley Ramirez coming up. Memo to Hanley. It's 10 after midnight.
Are you asking him to swing at the first pitch?
Or just get to the batter's box a little quicker? Yep. It's fair to say there are more Dodger fans remaining here tonight than.
It's because it's 9 o'clock in there for them.
There we go.
Dodgers apparently travel well. Ramirez 1 for 4. Takes inside and low, 1 ball and no strikes.
Have you updated the Giant score in a while, Charlie?
Not until now. Washington 2-0 in the top of the 7th. Pfister and Bumgarner.
If we're going to be up this late, we might as well be happy.
One ball and 1 strike. The Dodgers 8.5 behind the Giants, 9 in the loss column. Giants in a 1-game losing streak. They're just coming undone. .42-22 San Francisco, best record in baseball.
They're on pace for 107, 108 wins. I don't think they'll keep that up, but they've got a real good team.
And it's going to be a while before the Dodgers go head-to-head with San Francisco. It won't be until July 25th, 26th, and 27th up there. Two and one with two out. Gutierrez still leading off first. There are about 3 or 4 guys who are screaming really loud. And inevitably, those are the guys who wear those sleeveless T-shirts that are 5 sizes too small. 3-2.
Stanley Ramirez very quietly over the last 25 games has driven in 23 runs now, all encompassing tonight, starting back on May 11th.
He knocked in 2 with the single to center in the 5th. At 256 now with 10 home runs and 38 runs batted in.
Shows you how high the expectations are for him.
So on 3-2, Gutierrez is going to get a head start. Dodgers lead by 5. Here comes the pitch. There he goes. Ball 4.
We talked about small crowds and how a few voices or a voice can get you. And we're right in that scenario right now, but the game's not on the line. But this is where fans really can get in your ear.
Yeah, and that was a close pitch.
Yep.
It really was. And
Here's Puig, who's 2 for 4. His 24th multi-hit game of the year. He's tied for the National League lead in that category.
I mean, here's that last pitch that, looking, on the K zone, it's clipping the corner, but I think also the fact that the catcher had to reach for that to his right where he was looking for it, wanted that breaking ball to fall more in the inner half, and since it didn't, he didn't get that call.
The balls that are creeping out of the strike zone, you want your catcher to reach out for, and the balls that are coming into the strike zone, you want your catcher to catch as deep as possible.
A single and a double and a stolen base for Puig tonight. 0-1. Puig at the moment hitting .336. Home runs, 40 runs batted in, scored his 35th tonight. Even he gets out of the way of a fastball with flair.
If he was a little leaguer, you'd be calming him down if you were his coach. Like, hey, don't show up the opposing team. Come on, calm down. Concentrate on the game.
2 on and 2 out. Otto throws to second to end the inning. No runs, 1 hit. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Dodgers 6-1, and it's past everybody's bedtime. The 8th. Dodgers comfortably in front, and a defensive change at shortstop. Miguel Rojas takes over. Hanley Ramirez's night is done.
As the Dodgers make changes, it gives you a little confidence that D. Gordon's leg is feeling good, and Yasiel Puig's leg is feeling good.
I chuckled because you just,
who knows?
You know, who knows? Like I said, he's just like, oh, it looks like my hamstring was hurting as I did slide, but he's out there. You're right.
Evidence that doesn't demand a verdict.
There you go.
Thank you, counselor. Wow. Well, all right then. Joey Votto leads off in the bottom of the 8th. And Brian Wilson, boy, he's turned things around, hasn't he? Hit the strike, 0-1. Pitched an inning on Friday in Colorado, gave up a hit and struck out 2. Hasn't allowed a run in his last 8 1/3 innings in 9 games. Scoreless relief in 15 of his last 18 outings. Joey Votto is batting 3rd in Brian Price's batting order. The reason I mentioned that. It's looped into left field. It's going to drop in for a base hit. I was about to say that Wilson had not given up a hit to a 3rd or 4th place hitter in the opponent's lineups until now. Well, he broke his bat.
That one, he shattered his bat.
Yeah, that one might count as half a hit because he got in there. And that barrel of that bat went all the way into the stands. And good thing it didn't hurt anybody there. But it falls in for a base hit.
Started with a bat in his hand, and he ended up with a Swiss Army knife. That's a souvenir. Brandon Phillips 0 for 3 tonight. Washington continuing to hold a 2-0 lead in San Francisco in the 7th inning. Two balls and no strikes. Phillips has bounced to short, fly to left, and fly to center. Jay Bruce on deck. Two and one.
Brian Wilson really building the foundation for a very good year now. He's got off to a super slow start with a DL stint, with some bad stats, with bad command, sporadic velocity. And now with these string of really good outings, he's starting to build up the confidence of the staff and his teammates.
This is the 5th game of the season between these two teams, and the Dodger pitching has held Cincinnati, including tonight, to 12 runs. And these two teams, dating back to 2012, mentioned it earlier, yesterday, they've averaged combined 6 runs per game since 2012. But the Dodgers have 6 tonight. They had 6 last night. The Reds were held to 2 last night, and 1 run and 7 hits tonight. Davey Lopes with his arms folded. Can't imagine Votto's going anywhere. His team is down by 5. He's not, and it's fouled off to the right.
No, he'll be station to station until they get close enough. Brian Wilson wants to make sure that doesn't happen.
So one more time, 3-2 to Phillips at 270, 4 home runs and 22 runs batted in. Rojas, there's 1 and 2, a double play. Rojas stays with it. He's probably going to have a bruise in the morning, but the Dodgers have 2 outs and now nobody on.
Good job by Rojas there, just putting his body in front of it. This ball was scalded by Brandon Phillips, and just watch Rojas there, get his chest in front of it going, I'm going to get that in between hop, but he kept it in front, got the 1, and they didn't think they were going to be able to get 2, but they managed. That's how hard this ball was hit. Rojas stays with it. Good job, D. Gordon, gathering it and completing the double play.
I think Gordon was a little bit surprised he still had to play at first.
And especially with Brandon Phillips didn't, I don't know, didn't really necessarily run full speed out of the box. I don't know if it was, if there's something might be bothering him, or he's just like, listen, let me get down there. But I think that's what kind of shocked D. Gordon after that.
Of course, 12:30 in the morning.
Yep.
Jay Bruce, 1 ball, 1 strike. Amazing how many kids are still here.
School out yet here?
It's either no school tomorrow or notes to the teacher have already been written. School is out, we're told. Okay.
There you go.
Two and 1 with 2 out, and Bruce takes inside 3-1.
There you go.
He's still on his school sleep pattern, though. Find that young man and get him a ball. About 7 rows above the Dodger dugout.
And Bruce with a walk.
That's when you know there's not many fans here, when I can look down from the booth and find the kid. Right there. About 7 rows behind the dugout, up the row.
I see him.
That's Preston Mattingly. It's Don's son.
It's not past his bedtime.
And that's somebody else's son. Devin Mesoraco, 1 for 3.
I'll tell you, the way this game is, very rare do you say when Josh Beckett comes out, the game hit a wall. It kind of slowed down. Usually it's the other way around.
It's the other way around. You're right.
He did fine, but the game went into a tree stump. Six runs, 12 hits, no errors for the Dodgers. They left 9. Cincinnati won 7, and they've left 7. Into left field for a base hit. So Mesoraco is aboard past a diving Justin Turner. And Skip Schumacher coming up. Mesoraco 2 for 4. He came into the game in a big slump. Mesoraco did. 0 for 17, but 2 for 4 tonight. And here is Schumacher. Skip is fly to center, struck out, and line to third. Cozart on deck, 2 on and 2 out, and there's a strike, 0-1. I'm just guessing you fellows are not going to be on the early bus tomorrow.
I will be.
Oh yeah.
You're right.
Neither is anybody else.
I think BP will be optional tomorrow, and the late bus will be mandatory.
1 ball and 2 strikes.
But to keep this kind of a laugher, you need to get this guy out.
Keep them laughing. No runs, 2 hits, 2 left. At long last, we go to the 9th. 6-1 Dodgers. J.J. Hoover is now on in relief for the Reds as we go to the 9th inning. Marshall went an inning for Cincinnati. No runs, a hit, and a walk. And Hoover, in his 26th appearance, pitched an inning last night, struck out a batter, walked 2, and gave up a hit. Dodgers won at 6-2 last night, lead at 6-1 as we go to the 9th. Adrian Gonzalez, Matt Kemp, and Andre Ethier will bat.
I think Adrian Gonzalez's slump is officially over with the 2 doubles tonight, and he could really polish off the evening with a hit in this at bat.
He scored a run, knocked in 2. He's also been struck out twice and takes a strike. It's 0-1. They've gone to the 8th in San Francisco, and the Nationals lead the Giants 2-0. 0-2 to Adrian Gonzalez. It's strange to see Adrian Gonzalez and next to his name, .251 batting average. 295 career average. And it's been a tough go this month.
It has, and when you talk to him, there's still no panic in his voice. He's like he understands it, and he's working himself out, and that's, I find that so impressive.
10 years in the bigs. He averages a little less than 30 home runs a year and about 100 RBIs, and he was struck out for the 3rd time tonight. First out of the night. And here's Matt Kemp. 0 for 3, a walk, a run scored, and has been struck out 3 times. Jamie Wright is warming up in the Dodger bullpen, and so he will clean up the small details.
You were mentioning about the crowd. Well, it's diminished here, and you hear how the crowd got excited on that strikeout over there on Adrian Gonzalez. Well, that's the 10th strikeout for the Dodgers. And if you get 11 strikeouts here in Cincinnati, the people in attendance get a free pizza. So I'm just throwing that out there. They're cheering for pizza right now.
We've got some drama working tonight.
There you see, there you hear them. They're just letting you know.
They're that much closer to a pepperoni pie.
And it might be a breakfast pizza the way we're going at it.
Scrambled eggs and bacon pizza.
There's the 1-1. 1-2. Oh, we get it now.
It's that cold pizza in the refrigerator that you eat for breakfast. You hear the crowd now? There it is.
That check swing was like throwing the dough in the air.
And dropping it.
Look at,
Matt doesn't want to strike out. He's already got 3. You don't want a sombrero.
I think that's just great. I mean, it's 12:38 here. The fans sticking around excited. Your team's down by 5 runs here.
I'm going around picking up all the tickets that are laying on in the aisles.
Great promotion.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Pizza on the house with everything on it. Extra cheese, please.
And Matt is walking back to the dugout going, what are they all cheering about?
Dodger fans don't really know. Yeah, they don't really know. Do I cheer for the pizza? But I don't want to cheer for my my player striking out.
4 of those games were Kemp and 3 Gonzalez, and Ethier grounds to third, and that'll end the inning. Well, the Hale and Hardy get paid off handsomely with a pizza tomorrow. In the bottom half of the 9th inning. Now it's time for the Lexus Player of the Game. Josh Beckett. No runs and 2 hits in 6 innings. He struck out 7, walked 1, 90 pitches, 56 for strikes. Never really was in any sort of trouble. And he is 3 outs away from improving his record to 4-3, and the Dodgers winning 4 of their last 5, and perhaps might in fact pick up a game on the Giants, who are hitting in the 8th inning, and Washington's got a 2-0 lead up at AT&T Park. Here's Jamie Wright. Wright, we talked about it the other day. He can go long, he can short, he can face one batter, get that sinker working, trying to get a double play. I mean, he is a utility man out of the bullpen.
And he really understands his role, and he cherishes his role. He's glad to be back with the Dodgers and feels good about where he's at and what he contributes. And those are fantastic guys to have on your roster and on your team.
And here is Zach Cozart. Boy, he's had a night to remember. Although there was a moment he'd rather forget. It was in the 5th inning. He was hit by a pitch on the ear fly. And he was on. You could hear the resounding crash of ball and helmet. And he was down for a while, and thankfully he got up. And then in his next at-bat, he would single in a run. The only run of the game for the Reds. Roger Bernardino in the on-deck circle to pinch hit. Backhanded by Gonzalez. He'll take it by himself. 1 out.
Nomar and I were reviewing kind of our shocking times when we thought we were hurt on the field. What goes through your mind first?
Yeah, when you first get hit, and obviously that was devastating because it's in your head. But you're going, oh my gosh, I just got hit. Like, especially when you're not expecting it, like in your head. I remember getting hit by Randy Johnson. It was a slider. And hit my back foot. And I went down like I got shot. I was like, oh my gosh. And then
I've been hit.
Yeah, and then you're like, I can't believe I got hit. I wasn't expecting it. And then you're like kind of going, okay, as you mentioned, Oral, you're taking inventory.
Yep.
And you're going, wait a minute, I'm okay. It really doesn't hurt, but you have to get over the shock first.
Because Cozart, when he got hit in the helmet, he doesn't know, am I cut? And did it hit all my helmet? You don't know. You're completely in another place.
You know, I was talking to John Valentin, who we were talking about earlier in the day, the Dodgers hitting instructor who was hit on a deflected ball in the batting cage in Colorado. And I asked him, did you see it coming? He said, all I knew next, I was on the ground. Never saw it, never really felt it. I was on the ground and taking inventory. And then you see the shiner. He's fine, thank goodness. No structural damage. The eye is okay. It just looks like he lost a 12-rounder. An old teammate of Nomar's. You took his position.
I didn't take his position.
What, he wasn't looking?
Listen, Kevin Kennedy put me in there. The manager, our very own Kevin Kennedy goes, hey, I want Nomar at short. I saw my name in the lineup. Where do I go? And
whatever you need, Skip.
There you go. That's
I'm
right.
here for
That's
you.
how come on now.
But thank goodness, most importantly, that John's okay. Here's 1-2. Bernardino grounds it foul.
Nomar looked at it and saw his name in the lineup and immediately went over to Valentin's locker to see if he was okay.
I'll tell you a funny story is actually that was in the next year. It was in spring training. And I was in the cage. It was the day before spring first workout. I was hitting in the cage and a ball ricocheted off it and hit me in the face. And so where does it hit? Of course, it hits my nose. This big sting on my face. It hits that, and it breaks my nose. And now this is right before before my rookie of the year, and I'm thinking I've still got to win this position.
Right.
So it still wasn't set in stone. And I come in the weight room, in the locker room, and the trainers are going, "What happened?" I remember Scott Hatterberg going, "What's going on?" I said, "Well, I just saw Valentin in the cage, and he punched me." And they were like, and I was just kidding and joking, and they're like, "Oh my!" It was pretty funny. I just looked at their faces, and I'm like, "No, I just got a ball ricochet hit me in the face." They looked at it like it's broken. What do you want to do? I'm like, "Well, it's been done that before. What else is new? Let's go play."
3 balls, 2 strikes. Bernardino 1 out in the 9th. And Wright should throw him out.
You didn't have to get it set because of breathing problems or anything?
No, back then I didn't. I was like trying to win a position. I just said, oh well, let's go. I got to go play. I can't afford to sit out anytime or whatever. I'm fine. If I couldn't breathe, I'd broken it about 4 or 5 times in my life. So I was like, couldn't breathe through it before.
Sound like a hockey player.
Oh well.
Hamilton tonight is 1 for 4. He has one of the 8 hits for Cincinnati. The Dodgers 6 runs, 12 hits. Each side has left 9 men on base.
A flawless fielding night for both teams.
And we got a chuckle because I'm sure those who maybe just joined us like, why is that so funny? Because
two hopper to second is a hit.
You bobble it, a two hopper, you bobble it, it's a hit.
In Cincinnati, when Phillips is making the play.
You know what it is they're so used to Brandon Phillips making every play. They're like, if he didn't come up with that, then it has to be a hit.
Right.
Could that be it? Can we go with that one? Would that make you feel better, Oral?
Unless you've got a better one, that's what we're going with. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. And Billy Hamilton. Couldn't you save it for tomorrow? Hamilton is 2 for 5. And here comes Todd Frazier.
Tom Brenneman and Jeff Brantley are to our booth to our right, and they were both laughing at the call also, gentlemen.
I agreed with you. I said it should have been an error.
Okay.
But I just love the Bulldog coming out for it. That's what I'm so fired up. There's the Bulldog. It's like, wow. I'm glad I didn't play behind you and make an error. My goodness.
You take it up with Heath here tomorrow. I will. Frazier takes inside, 1 ball, no strikes, and Billy Hamilton takes second base with defensive indifference.
It's probably D. Gordon saying, that doesn't count.
Exactly.
Gordon with 36 stolen bases and Hamilton with 23. And at long last, the game is over, and the Dodgers have beaten the Reds 6-1. 6 runs, 12 hits, no errors. The Dodgers leave 9. 1 run, 9 hits, no errors. And the Reds left 9. Josh Beckett improves his record to 4-3. Mike Leake takes the loss. He drops to 3-6. So the Dodgers improve their record to 35-31. And pending the outcome in San Francisco, the Dodgers can move up a game on first place San Francisco. So the Dodgers win tonight, and they have won 4 of their last 5, and that is a wrap for us. For Alana Rizzo, Oral Hershiser, Nomar Garcia-Parra, and our entire Sportsnet LA crew here in Cincinnati, Charlie Steiner saying good night and good morning, and we'll see you again tomorrow and today.